This is Kathleen Griffin. Today is Wednesday. I don't know. What is it? Today is Wednesday, March 3rd. This is the 4 p.m. afternoon hearing in conference room number 2.
Oh, good. Okay. That's great.
And then remember, the speaker might forget. Yeah. So are you getting your good going to conference call?
Yeah, microphone working.
Okay. Your people are there to know that you have to get whoever you have on your list there. So, yeah. Normally I go and get mine too.
Oh, okay.
That way, so if we have our log, we can take it down to who's ever at the desk. And I it's not going to matter.
So,
have to allow folks to listen all the time live. You also have to We have to get signed for papers, we have to post all our documents online within 24 hours. I mean, it's just been, so the organization, just on the phone, you're just on the phone. So you're good. No photos. No, it's been a long day already, so no, it's a good thing that it's only on the phone. So, yeah, so go ahead and have a seat. And so this will be yours once I swear you in.
Okay.
I will just have both of you sign it since you're both here.
All righty.
Let me get this organized. Okay, so, like I said, everything's being recorded over here, so welcome. I'm Kathleen Griffin. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm here to hear your appeal today, and your hearing is being recorded. So I'm going to state a few things about your appeal into the record, and just let me know if I have anything that's incorrect. So, let's see if I can. Your appeal number is 75. Your property is located at 31 Judson Road. The owners are Jeffrey and Patricia McHugh. The town has the property valued at $902,200, and you're requesting that the town reduce your appraised value to $750,000.
Correct, yes.
Okay, great. So now I just want you to state your name into the record here and say whether you're the owner or the authorized agent.
I'm Jeffrey McHugh.
And I'm Patricia McHugh.
We are the owners of the property.
Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand, and I will swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, great. So at some point, you just want to sign. You put your appeal number at the top, which is 75 for me, so I know which folder it goes in. And then just, and sign your name, both sign your names there as the people who showed up, or Catherine, if you want to sign below, that's fine. Got the time that we started. Let's see. Okay, great. So now is your opportunity to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $750,000 and not the $902,200 number assigned by the town.
Right.
As you may know, market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date. So if you could just, we have people every 15 minutes, so.
Okay.
I know everybody has big stories, so if you
No big story.
No big story.
In fact, I prepared everything I'm going to say. I have here for you to take sort of the substantiation or a document.
Great. So we will add that into the record.
Yes,
and it will
please.
be scanned and added to the website.
Okay.
Hopefully within 24 hours. It's scanned to the scanner, so great.
All right,
I
so-
do have some paperwork here from you. I don't know if it's just your field card. Looks like you also have some supporting information for revalue.
Yes, and it's,
Okay.
it changed because the original assessed value was $655,000. The appraisal value would have been $950 or something. And then I had the phone appeal and spoke to somebody, and they adjusted it down to $631,540 is the assessed value.
That's not appraised.
No, that's the assessed value. The appraised value is the $902.
It's the 902. Okay.
All right. So then what I did is you'll see this supporting document. I went through the vision appraisal and got homes on Judson Road, South Benson, and Oyster Road that were comparable in size, both number of rooms, living area, and acreage as best I could. And showed
South Benson and Oyster, right?
Yes, South Benson, Oyster, and Judson all in the same general area.
Sure.
And basically showed that houses were a lot less than ours, and some that were more than ours were substantially greater. I don't want to bore you. I mean, this can be all looked at and read into the document, but a couple of things I noted. One house, for example, on 413 South Benson, I included to show that the assessed value of the land, we were paying $77,000 more for a piece of property that they had 9/10 of an acre more. And another house also, 413 South Benson, had 0.44 acreage, we're 0.30, and they were
Is that
paying.
on the sheet there?
Yeah, it's on the second page.
Actually, they may have stapled it together a little bit differently, so copy of your bill.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, it's here. Would you like this?
Oh, is that a new one?
I updated it because everything was
Okay, we'll have
updated,
that, yep.
that
Okay,
will
got it. I was
make
looking for
my-
those numbers and I
so
didn't.
it'll make my babbling more.
Okay, no worries.
This
This is yours, you can keep
Oh, I can keep
it,
that, okay.
and this is from before. I don't want to take anything that we already have.
Okay. so
Only
you-
one, Justin, is you. It might just be, you're changing the supporting information?
Oh, yeah, because it did
That's what's
change,
changing. Yep.
the vision appraisal,
I
so
get
I
it.
want to give you all the
Okay,
accurate stuff.
yep, we're
So
good,
you couldn't
okay.
say use more on that.
No. It's
So anyway,
fine.
on the second, on page 2 of what I gave you,
Okay, so
um,
this is the next one. Now this isn't right. Okay.
okay, so on the second page, I listed an asterisk, 413 South Benson. Their land appraisal, which is the top number in the third column there, is their land appraisal is $356,300 for 0.44 acreage. And our land appraisal, for example, 31 Judson Road, was $457,000 for 0.30 acreage, which I just said question mark. I don't quite understand that. Their total assessment is, our total assessment is only slightly less than theirs, even though they have 2 more rooms, 2,200 square feet more living area, and 0.14 acres more. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, the differences, and that's why I included so many of them, because it wasn't just one house or 2 houses, but almost every house that I found and listed, there was a great disparity, and we were at the high end, which I didn't understand. The second part, which is more written there on page 2.
Okay, so let me just make sure. So 413 South Benson, you're saying that you're comparing their land value to your land value?
Right.
Okay.
Also, I compared on 410 South Benson, which is in the middle of page 2. You can see there, it's a gigantic house on the corner.
Okay.
Everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
However, again, their land size was 0.39 acres, we're 0.30, and their land value was assessed at $379,610, and we're at $457. That's a $77,000 difference. We're paying more in spite of the fact that we had 0.09 acres left. So I thought our land value should be assessed much more low.
Sure. I'm not as familiar with these properties. Did you look at the neighborhood code in the database at all?
Well, they're our next door neighbors. In fact, everybody on Judson Road, we're all in the same, we're in the flood zone, we're double A.
No, I meant, let's see, Vision has a neighborhood code that they assign to every property.
I didn't look at that.
Yeah, so that would be on your field card, if you have your field card there.
No?
It's probably, it doesn't tell the description, which is a little unfortunate, so if you go to the land, just so you understand where it is, because different neighborhoods got different values. If you go towards the end of your field card, under land use on the left-hand side, it says use code, description, zone, neighborhood 65. See that?
Neighborhood 0065.
Right, so 65 is the Sherman neighborhood.
Okay.
So if the properties you were looking at are in the Turney neighborhood,
The what neighborhood?
Turney is another, again,
That's down Riverside Drive.
Okay.
right, but it's not the school district, it's the system that the assessor's office uses to, group land together.
Okay.
So that's one reason that it could be if a lot of the properties you're talking about are in the Turney.
One is connected to our
So
property.
it should be the same neighborhood.
Oh, it should be. It's right next door.
It's just the next door. Okay.
Yeah, even though it's a South Benson address, they're on the corner and we're right next door.
Yeah, and so, okay. Mhm.
And also, we're but anyway, I just,
Just
again,
want you
this is
to
all-
understand how,
Yep.
that's not everything, but that's some of it. Yeah.
Also, let's see, other things that I mentioned, some of the things that, every house is individual, and in a lot of sense, everybody probably says the same thing to you, but we're really, in a sense, fighting for our home. We've been there since 1974. Taxes are starting to be the source of why we might not be able to stay there. The first reassessment was an 18.7% increase. This represents the current one that's listed now at 540,000 or 902,000 is approximately a 14% tax increase. That's nuts. But some of the things about our home make it very different if we try to put it on the market. For example,
So those I would want to know about.
in our kitchen is described as average. Our kitchen measures 8.5 by 8.5, and that's the total kitchen. If you talk about where you can actually stand in the kitchen, it's 5.5 by 5.5 feet. People would come in and say,
Where's your kitchen?
Where's your kitchen?
People have come in, little kids come in and go, where's your kitchen?
well, this is the kitchen. It's a little tiny place.
Right.
We can't even keep our refrigerator is in a
Is it another room? Oh dear.
And that's just the nature of the house. So
Right.
part of what we felt our house, unfortunately, in the world of the current market, our house would be a teardown. And as a teardown, we also have a very peculiar shaped lot. I don't know if you can see that by looking at the map, but it's not a rectangle. It's not even a trapezoid. It's just a very odd shape. The original owner divided the land up in a peculiar way. And it would, I think, preclude anybody from building one of the mega mansions, which they'd want to do if they were going to tear down our house and build something new, because what they probably would have to do is go straight up and build a 3-story mega monster, which I don't know if they do, but they certainly wouldn't pay us $902,000 if they were going to have to tear everything down.
Right. Okay.
So I think that's another
And the house is
Old.
from the 30s, it's old, and another disadvantage we have is being in the flood zone. Anytime we have wanted to make improvements,
You can only do 50%.
you can only
or
do
something.
Right.
that. So we've never been able to do a full-on kitchen or do all the bathrooms
Right.
or add anything on.
Now you have an in-ground pool, right? They're texting you for that, or they say that? Okay.
Yeah,
That's
there. That's also, in some ways, it's a negative, even though some people would say it's a positive. It's a negative in the sense that it adds a lot to your bill.
Right, because that's $19,000 in value, and then also it looks like you have a garage. with
Yes, we have a
loft,
garage.
And that's valued at $50,000, so that's at $47,000, so that's at 90% good, so that's adding some fair value, just saying that.
Yeah.
That's adding a chunk of value.
And that's, when I looked at all the other properties, I tried to make sure that they all had garages. They don't all have pools for sure, but they all had garages. They all had, and actually most of them had more rooms and more square footage than we had in my comparison. The last thing I did is on the third page, I listed, I just went on, and found out recent home sales in our area, and again, tried to find homes, South Benson, Riverside, Oldfield, Reef Road, the beach area, Puritan Road, Beach Road, and what houses were selling for, and and these were all within, one of them was 2019, that was a mistake that got in it, but the rest of them were all 2020 or even 2021, and the houses similar to ours were selling from between, believe it or not, $475 to the most expensive one listed was $741, and that was a house on Reef Road that had 8 bedrooms, 2,679 square feet. It's just, I think the town is very broad in what they've assessed.
Okay, so if you were to look at these lists of sales here, which one would you say is pretty similar in your home? I know these guys have lots of rooms and high square footage, but you have a cape. Is yours a cape?
Ours is a cape.
A cape. So if you were to look at a cape or, a colonial cape with about the same amount of square footage.
Maybe the
and kind of close to your house would be helpful.
Puritan Road,
Would
145.
you say that Puritan Road is the closest to you?
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Okay.
And notice
And I'm
it's
going to
also,
say that was probably, I wouldn't be surprised if that house was a tear down, and that's what the builders paid,
So
$775.
comp is 145, you would say that's the closest sales comp to you is 145 here.
I think so, either that or the
And that's sold for
South
775.
Benson one,
Okay.
even though it had 6 rooms, it's,
The square footage, yeah, but in terms of how the house is, the square footage and the style is a little more important than the number of rooms, because you could have huge rooms, right, with lots of square
that's
footage.
true, as opposed to our kitchen,
Right,
which is
so, right, so
5.5 by 5.5.
775, that one sold on March 24th, 2020. and that was a 2,300 square foot house, right?
Yeah, that's bigger than ours, but still.
And the acreage we can, okay. So that one you think is a pretty close comp to you?
Closer, yeah, and that,
Okay.
that's
Three
certainly.
bedroom, 2 bath. Okay. And then and what was the second one that you thought was?
Similar to ours, well.
I don't even know, I don't know.
Did you say the South Benson one?
I thought the South Benson
South
one,
Benson for
192 South
725?
Benson, yeah.
Okay, 193 South Benson.
They're all very similar, that's why I picked them, I just
Sure.
said, these are similar in size and in shape, and the land's all over the place, but then again, the land seems to be crazy all over the place. I know that different neighborhoods, which again is not your, not the argument
Okay,
that
and
you
the
want
South
to hear,
Benson one sold on 12/21, it looks like, you're saying 12/21/2020, and it sold for $725,000, it's 1,260 square feet.
Yes,
And it, is a, what did we say, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. And are you a 3 bedroom, 2 bath? I have a look.
yeah.
3 bedrooms, and how many square feet do you have?
We are at,
I should know, I guess.
I should know too, right?
I still have your card on right now, it's on the paper. So if I put it in my notes, I'm better, and if not, I can look right here on the card next day.
I'll find it. I know it's there somewhere. Living area, total living area in 1903?
Looks like, yeah, your 1,900 total gross living area, floor area, let's see. First floor area. I think 2136, does that sound? Why am I not seeing that anywhere here?
Mine says 1903. Living area, the first floor is
I don't know
1250.
what effective area is, that's what I'm just not sure. But you're either 1,900 or 2,100. I just have to, I don't know what they did there. Anyway, it's okay, I should know that number. The other cards show it differently on Vision, it's a little bit easier to see it on there. But I can look it up, so I don't, that's okay.
Okay, then, let's see, so the
But
home
you're either 1,900 or 2,100 square feet, and then you've got the pool and the garage, and you've got the pool and the separate garage. So that's what, that is adding some value, looks like to me. That's a good, my math today, 50, 70, you got almost $70,000 worth of value in your outbuildings in your yard, right?
Right, but they were there last
They were there the last time, that's why.
That's why. It's
We haven't
not
done anything
new
different.
since the last valuation.
Yeah, the thing is, with this valuation, there's not, every time you always try to correct, right? You try to make it better, you try to come up with better numbers. So if it wasn't done so well last time, or things were just not, coded correctly, or things happen, then every time they get better at the process, they zoom in. And so that's why some people may have been way under last time. They weren't really paying, not that we're paying their fair share, it's up to the town to tell them what that is. But if they weren't, then, then you get these huge corrections, and people are like, that's about 40%. Well, maybe because you were too low last time.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons. The other reason is because the market in the beach is doing really well, so if you start to look at
Which,
that's going to affect it too, right? So you got both those things going on.
That's true, but that's also something I think I don't know who addresses it or how we could address it, but.
So that's not fair, we've been there
I know.
since 1974.
It's hard to just, it's like having a piece of gold and the value of gold goes up, right? And now we still have the same piece of gold, but it's worth a lot more than it was last year. So
And yet,
it has value to it. That's the hard part. I know, because you stay in a house for 30 years and it's
But
really
the
hard.
gold is something you can hold in your hand, the house is something that the town is gonna eventually take away from us because we can't
Can't keep
afford to
paying
live
these
there.
taxes that are.
So,
I hear you, but that's how the value of it, even though it's the same thing to you, it increases in value, and therefore, if
Right.
you were to sell it, it's worth more than it was 5 years ago.
Right, because one thing I left off and I didn't include where, you get into looking at all different neighborhoods, which are lovely, some in Greenfield Hills, some in, just by the
Right.
lake, and, it's amazing how much less they all pay. Even land, I laughed at one that was,
Oh, yeah, it's very different up there.
they're almost identical to our house, except it's brand new, 8 rooms, 3 baths, bigger square footage, 0.31 acreage, and they're paying about $6,000 a year less in taxes, which is like, that's not going to work for me.
Yeah, because people want the beach, right? They're paying for it.
And again, I get it in some sense, but it doesn't seem to me to be an equitable arrangement that realtors, not that I don't like realtors, but that realtors have been able. Well, realtors have. I didn't elect them, and they're driving our taxes based on what they think is the better neighborhood to be in, which is ridiculous. The whole town is a beautiful place to be, and some people prefer Greenfield Hill, or some people prefer the Mill Plain area. I think it's faulty logic and faulty reasoning in the process itself is inequitable, and I will fight it everywhere I can. Not because I don't believe in paying my fair share. I think I've been paying more than my fair share based on what my neighbors pay. And
that's the biggest thing that we're hearing is it's unfair. My neighbors are paying less and I'm paying more.
Yeah.
So our job is to figure out, are you paying too much?
I think
your
so.
neighbor paying too few?
and I think it's probably in between.
Yeah.
But like I said, every house becomes a unique, and I realize assessors can't do it, but every house is ridiculous.
They did take you down some, right? In the informals, you went down? Yeah, you went down like 30,000 or 35,000.
And it really should come down another 60, which I know no one's going to buy, but that's what I think.
Well, that's what you're asking for, so the board can, that's our job, is to take a look at it and make sure that, the market value is, that you're on with your, what you tell us the market is saying about properties similar to yours. Yours isn't on the market, so they can't look at it.
Nor do we ever.
Right. If you had it listed, then I could say, okay, you're asking 900 and it's not selling. Then we know it's not.
Well, that was also interesting. There was some that the town had listed. I think I wrote it down here, but it was listed at one point. Oh, this was up in Fence Row, which is Fence Row, up in the hills there. The town was listing its appraised value at $1.3 million, and it sold for $825,000. So something is wrong. Now, the poor people who bought it, if they're going to be taxed at $1.3 million, they're already losing. They're losing big time. I mean,
that's why Greenville Hill came down because they were paying a lot.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And they couldn't get that. They were getting $3-4 million less for their houses that we were taxing them on. So
I know. So it's crazy.
Okay.
One last question for you. What happens? Say it goes to you review and you say, okay, we're not gonna reduce it. We're gonna keep it at that.
Yeah.
What do I have any other recourse?
I was going to say yes. So the next step is I'm going to present your petition to a majority of the board at deliberation sessions for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision. All decisions will be made in March, we hope. We may get an extension with 650 of them until April. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you are granted a reduction, you cannot appeal until the next reballot in 5 years. If you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take the next step and appeal your decision in court, which plenty of people do. You can represent yourself if you want. Instructions on how to appeal in court will be in your decision letter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the time frame. I think you have to let the town know that you want to take the next step. It's either 30 or 60 days.
You can actually represent yourself. That would be a disaster. But
yeah, I mean, if you feel strong about your numbers, but, they're already having a higher attorney. So I'm going to try to stay, what is it, 34:32. I'm going to try to stay on schedule. If I get off at the beginning, sometimes it gets a little
yours.
But you signed your form there, so we're good to go with that. And
thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Thanks for the time.
Okay.
Morning, Ashton. Your lights already now, so I haven't shut the light off, so I remember where I am tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here, you can have a seat over here. Did she give you a sheet to sign?
She did.
She did, okay.
Mhm.
With your appeal number on the top there. And
Yeah.
once I sign you in, once I swear you in, I'm just gonna ask you to sign that. So,
Okay.
let me just sort through.
I'm sorry, your name again, please?
Sure, Kathleen Griffin, and I'll start your appeal here in 1 second.
Okay.
I don't like to get off at the beginning of my hearing, if you could just, so, okay. So I'm Kathleen Griffin. I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Turn this off, sorry.
No worries.
Okay.
So I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals this year, and I'm going to hear your appeal. I so that you know, we are both being recorded here on this phone, that phone there on the table. So
Right.
if you can just speak up a little bit, it seems to be recording okay. It's a little echoey in this room. So, and I'm going to say a few things for the record. Just please correct me if any of this is inaccurate. So your appeal number is number 460. Property address is 402 Roland Road. The owner of the property is Sarah Everly Levy. Okay. The town has the property valued at $902,100. You're requesting to go down to $850,000. And that's the value you wish to be reduced to.
Correct.
Okay, great. And I've already done the time. And you're appealing, did you provide an affidavit? Are you on the deed as well for the property?
No, I'm not.
You're not. Did you submit an affidavit?
Yeah, there's an affidavit.
In the file. Okay, great. Yep, I see it right there. Perfect. Okay, so just want to make sure. So you are the appellant and the duly authorized. Okay. So I'm just going to ask you to state your name for the record.
Mm-hmm. Stephen Levy.
And I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand and then swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth will help you God?
I do.
Okay, great. So if you can just sign that piece of paper there that they gave you downstairs,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll sign it after you leave, and that just sort of says that you are who you are, and I swear you in. Okay, great.
Just leave it right here for you.
Yeah, I'm going to grab it now, because sometimes I forget to put it in the file, and it's going to be great to get that.
And then do you need another copy of the petition and the supporting documents?
So if you submitted it already,
Mm-hmm.
I'll have it here in front of me in the folder.
So you don't need to.
I shouldn't need it, no. So I'm just, looks like some people come in and haven't brought anything in. So if you've added anything new, I can add that to the file.
No.
But you're good. Okay, great. So now's the opportunity for you to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $850,000 and not the 902 number that the town's assigned to your property. As you probably know, market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date had it been on the market.
Right.
So if you can just try to tell me why you think that is, that'd be great.
Great. Okay. Well, just my background, my wife Sarah and I have been homeowners in Fairfield for 40 years. And we've actually lived at 402 Roland for the last 30. And this is the first time I've appealed an assessment. And the reason is, of course, the assessment determines our relative percentage of the grand list and contribution to total tax revenue. And it's in that regard, relative to my neighbors on the corner, that I don't think there's any doubt that I've been over-assessed. I can assure you that for the last 30 years, we've been I've been the foreman on the block at the corner of Roland and Quincy. Of the three comparables on the corner, it's 394, 402 where I am, and 403 across the street. We're all in the same corner. For the last 30, I've always been assessed less. They've been assessed higher, and it's for good reason. 394 is larger. 403 has got a larger lot size.
Okay, so 394 is larger square
footage.
Okay, larger house, right? Okay. And 403 has a larger lot.
Larger lot.
Okay.
And with respect to 394, it's basically the same house. They were both built in 1929. The other one to the south of me was also identical, but it's since been knocked down because the new owner, because of the flood restrictions and how much it cost and how much you're allowed to update, she couldn't do what she wanted, so she ended up knocking it down and starting new. But, my house, Sandy didn't reach the foundation, but it came in through the walls. But, frankly, nobody's ever going to raise that house because, for $12,000.
Not worth the money, right? Especially now there's no grant.
Well, it's also a nice house.
Yeah. Is your house FEMA compliant or no?
It is not.
It is not. Okay.
But it's never
But it
reached
is in the flood zone. Okay.
It is in the flood zone, and it cost $10,000 to replace the furnace and $100,000 to raise it, and there's nothing down there but the furnace and the washer and dryer. But that's neither here nor there. It just impacts what can be done with the property, with the flood restrictions. But aside from what I've already mentioned about size and so forth, in 403 across the street from me, that house, they added a family room, a second floor master bedroom, and attached bath about 6 years ago. As to 394, they've totally renovated their first floor kitchen and living room within the last 6 years. And in contrast, my kitchen, and I only have 1.5 baths as opposed to their 2.5 baths. I last upgraded that 30 years ago, and it's now rather dated. There are pictures in there. And frankly, my contractor says to me, that's the kitchen 30 years ago. There's pictures of the 1.5 bath.
These are all your property.
These are all pictures of my property.
Yep.
Whenever I talk to my contractor.
Okay.
Yeah. He says to me, Steve, that's the next guy's development. So,
if you can live with it, yeah.
Exactly. It's just not, I'm not sure if my house is knocked down or not. But
those steam radiators, I love.
Oh, yeah. It's the best form of heat. But, anybody who watches those home TV shows knows that my bathrooms are not what people want.
For sure.
Right. And
91 baths. Okay.
But basically there's been a flip-flop in the assessment where now I'm higher and the other two are less. If you look at my Exhibit 2, it does, outline the various comparisons. In prior years, up until 2019, I was assessed at 30,000 less than 403. Now I'm 2,000 higher. And I'm also assessed basically 150,000 or more higher than 394, even though it's the same, built at the same time, same floor plan, and so forth. There's a significant disparity there.
Sure. Okay. So I'm looking at your skill card here. It does look like you went to the informal hearings, right?
Right.
And they gave you some reduction at that point in time. Okay. And then you went, and then the town, it looks like you got a value change as well. Did you get a second reduction or no?
The only thing I've gotten is from 936.2 down to 902.1.
Right. I know. It's frustrating on these skill cards. They show the assessed values and without a calculator.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to your, I see. Okay,
Right.
so you got to change the informal. Okay.
They also then reduced the 394 and 403. 394 went and this is on my comparison beginning of Exhibit 2.
This is your house. All right, very helpful to have these. This is 394. And they're all built about the same time. And so you're not really looking at do you have any market data for me for the area, like any sales that you think are close to your home that you
Well,
would say?
403, I know
Did it sold?
that sold for $925 about a year ago,
Okay.
or last September actually,
403.
which is,
Whalen purchased on 9/9/2020 for $925.
yeah.
Okay. So, and that you would say that's a comparable.
Yeah, that's the one I'm referring to.
Yep.
But that's
Okay.
now assessed by the appraiser down at 900. And
Okay.
again,
So let me just write that down. So 403, Roland Road, sold, and that's one of your neighbors.
mhm,
Sold on 9/9/2020 for $925,000.
right.
Okay. And you're telling me your house compared to theirs, I have some of that here, same house, they have a larger, right?
Yeah, if you look at the
they're all
third page,
corner lots.
yeah,
But 403 has a larger lot
yeah.
than yours. Okay, and
If
how
you look
about
at the
the?
third page, I've sort of compared each of them. If you look at, do you see exhibit 2?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
There's rather than my
Okay,
going
great.
through it, it lists everything.
Sure, and just for the record, only because, the public's listening or whatever, I just want you to tell me, do you think, like, quality-wise, your house is nicer than yours?
It's been updated more
It's been
recently.
updated more than you? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they have for instance, mine is the smallest living area, 207.8 versus 2,386 for 394. 403's got 2,331 feet. 403 has a deck. I do not. One confusion is I'm listed as having 5 bedrooms, but it's not 5. There's an attic bonus room, and there are pictures there. The windows do not meet the fire code for ingress and egress, so it's not a bedroom. There's no closet up there.
Okay. Have you ever called the assessor's office and told them that you're not a 5-bedroom?
I raised it with the informal hearing.
Yeah, I had a problem on my part at the informal hearing, and it did not get corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had my porch as finished basement as a porch.
Right.
So I had to then go to the assessor's office after the fact and get it fixed. So I just want to make sure that if that didn't get corrected for you on your card, and that is something that changes your value, then that is a change that, we would have to approve it, but if it's obvious to them that, it just never was recorded in the record. So let me just note that down. So that's number 460.
Yeah, there's no, for instance, there's no banister on the stairway going up because it's too narrow.
Okay. And they have you listed as a 5-bedroom.
Yeah. And, similarly, 394 has the exact same sort of finished upstairs, but it's only listed as 4 bedrooms. And they actually have a bathroom up there.
Okay, so 394 has the same finish. I'm just looking for consistency across town. The same finish on the third floor. Plus a bath.
Plus a bathroom, but they're listed as 4 bedrooms.
But listed as 4 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another.
Possibly is that they should be listed as 5, right? That's one thing. Or you should be listed as 4, or maybe both. So it could be, And because you've never appealed before, or you've never really come in,
It's
often
the first time.
right. So sometimes that will happen when people will come in, and we'll look at them and say, oh my gosh, wish you could come 20 years ago because it would save you so much money. And, now for you, that bedroom, I don't know what kind of value it adds to your property, but, we want to know what people have in their homes, and some people don't tell us what they have, and so we can't tax them on it if we don't know.
Right.
So there's that piece between, what do what's right, what is the market, and also what the market value is. So the fact that you have a property very close to yours that's sold, that's really telling us what the market is telling you in your neighborhood. For a house that's a little bit bigger than yours, right? You said a little more updated than yours, and a larger lot than yours. It's a corner lot. So whether exactly, and is it I'm looking at the pictures. Is that the brick one?
Yeah, that's the brick one.
That's the brick. Okay, but it's still considered a colonial, like yours.
Yeah, colonial.
So it's a colonial. So really, for you, that's your best.
Right.
And it sold in September, which is super close to October 1st.
Yeah.
So that's really kind of saying, okay, the market right around then. So if yours was on the market, it may have gone for a little less than 925, right?
And my point is simply that that's currently assessed at 900
Right.
and 500. So that would be the standard. You know, if there's 25,000 less, mine presumably apples to apples.
Right, or there should be higher, maybe they should be at 925 because that's what they sold for, right?
I think there's, they sold it, somebody paid too much.
Right, the market is so crazy in the beach area.
It was right around the time that COVID was hitting. And
that's why it's so hard, right, to manage
that. 925 is
you thought that was an inflated price.
Yeah, I think the 900 is closer, and
yeah.
mine would be less. And, just one other, difference is like with 394, again, same floor plan, but on the fourth bedroom on the second floor, mine is a tiny room, and there's a picture of it, there's no closet in it, where theirs is dormered out and has a full, normal-sized bedroom. So there's another one, again, 403 family room. My renovations, just going to not make it on the HGTV. So, that's what it boils down to. I guess when all is said and done, the key thing is I can't imagine anybody paying more than $850 for 1.5 baths, right? In this day and age. If anybody coming in is going to say it's going to take a lot of money to replace it, add on, and so forth. A house with 1.5 baths, in my mind, even in the beach area, is not worth $900.
Right. What do the other two have? Do they have more bathrooms than you?
Yeah, they both have 2.5 baths.
They both have 2.5.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I'm not sure if the field card on 403 reflects 2.5 baths, but I could even show you, but I don't think you need this. I called up Robert Cashel, the prior owner,
okay.
And I have a text on my phone where he confirms that in fact they do have 2.5 baths there. Do you need that for the record?
So, yeah.
I can show you the text.
No, I believe, it's probably in the listing, because it was on the market, it's probably in the online, right?
Yeah.
So you can look it up, because often, sad to say, but sometimes the assessor's office will, have it as a 3-bedroom, and then they look on MLS and puts it as a 6-bedroom, and there's pictures about, brand new kitchen and 3 additional bathrooms. That's the only way they can catch it, because people don't necessarily tell you what they have. Right, and so if the cards are not, and they never come in, if it's not, it don't come through your home. So, that adds to the value of that. So their house, at 925 at a 2.5 bath, that is, assuming that sale price is accurate for that kind of a house. The fact that you only have 1.5 and they have 2.5, that's the difference. And you've got you're not updated, and you don't, your family room and all of that. So
no family room on mine. They have a family room.
Right, and the square footage is different, right?
Square footage on the smallest, my lot's smaller. And as I said, for 30 years, they were always assessed at least 30,000 higher. And for some reason this year I'm the highest assessment on the corner. So.
Yeah, and it certainly sounds like yours isn't as valuable as theirs. So,
no.
Right, either they're wrong and they should be higher, or you're wrong and you should be lower, or yours is wrong and you should be lower. So
right.
it's probably one of those two, but you're not equal. You should be equal to each other, and you should be higher than that.
I certainly shouldn't be higher.
Right. And the fact that you have a sale right there is very helpful for your case. So, yeah. Is there anything else you want to tell me?
I've covered
And I think I've got everything in the record. Like I said, it's been a little whirlwind here, but I'll definitely go through, all of your numbers and exhibits and things. And I think we had a good conversation about 403 and, 394, so I'm comfortable. It's one of my favorite streets, so I know exactly which houses they all are.
Do you live in the area or down there?
I live over in Tanago Park, over by the university, but I went to Fairfield View and was at the Point when I was in college, and so Rolling Road, yes.
Yeah, my first house was on 2200 North Benson, just north of Stilton.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm over on Stilton Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was over on the west side of the university for 15, 20 years, so I thought I knew how to
place area?
Wind Park, over on Brook Bend Road, over on the left by the high school, so. So we moved to the other side of the university, totally to a smaller house, but still too big. I'd love to be in a 1,700 square foot on the beach right about now, but not going to happen. So.
You're
All
probably
right,
better off.
well, listen, I'm just gonna read you a little summary statement,
Okay.
and we can conclude your hearing. So, let's see, Alfred is be presenting your petition to a majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision. All decisions will be made in March. If your appeal was denied, you can come back next year. If you were granted a reduction, you cannot come back for 5 years until the next revow. So, and if you don't agree with our discussion, you can take the next step and appeal your decision in court, which plenty of people do. Instructions on how to appeal in court will be in your decision letter. You either have 30 or 60 days to tell the town that you want to appeal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Great.
And you don't need an extra
As
copy?
long as you have nothing new.
Nothing new?
Nothing new. I've got it all here, and it's all scanned in on the website, so all the other board members can look at your problems, while they're eating their dinner or whatever, they can certainly review everything as we discussed. So, yes, times of COVID are a little bit strange for doing this, but we're trying to do that, and I am going to put in a request to the assessor's office to evaluate whether you in fact have a valid fifth bedroom or not.
Right. Okay.
Sounds great.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming. Yeah, maybe just leave that open for a minute, and we'll bring the other person up really quickly as soon as she's ready. Great, thank you. Have a good night. Here. Okay, that's great, and I'll send them up. Give me 2 minutes to collect my thoughts and get a drink of water. By the time you get down there, you'll be good. Thank you. You, Mr. Anderson?
Yes, ma'am.
I am, and I recognize you from St. Anthony's.
Huh?
I'm Kathleen Griffin. I recognize you from St. Anthony's
Yes.
Parish, because I'm a Eucharist Administrator.
Well, I haven't been there in,
Neither have I. Been
for the
doing
past
very
year
well.
because, of the situation.
Sure. So we're going to put you socially distanced over there.
Sure,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Don't mind.
As long as you talk loud enough, because my hearing ain't that good.
Okay, sure. And I can stand, I need to not sit all day anyway, so I can certainly stand up for this one. So give me a little bit.
Well, I'm glad to see somebody that I know.
Yeah. 268. Okay. And you just, you're 60 monetary, right?
This is on 60. I have to come back at 7:45 for my house. I don't know why they didn't kind of do it together, but.
We tried, it depends what neighborhood, or do you live near 60 Monterey?
My house is here, this lot is here. I own both. But they're separate addresses. They're next door to each other.
Sometimes too, when they put them in the computer, if they put you in with your first name and then your last name, and then the next one they put it in last name, first name, we didn't catch that Anderson and Robert were the same.
Yeah, they're both
They're both next to each other.
Whatever.
Okay, or maybe because this is a trust.
Maybe I'll be lucky, well, I don't know if you'll be here at 7:45.
Yeah, well, if you had it with you, I would think if I could take you, I think I've got, otherwise, if they're the same street, I don't have I've got 2 more, that's the only thing. If one of mine
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
show.
then, good for you, then you go home.
Only because someone else needs the room, that's the only thing. Okay, so I'm going to start the process now, and I'm Kathleen Griffin. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. So I would stand in that.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I'm going to hear your appeal today, and your hearing is also being recorded on that phone right there. So if you just sort of want to speak towards that, that's great. I'm going to state a few things about your property.
Okay.
Correct me if I have any of this information wrong. So you are here, your appeal number is 268.
Yes.
The property address is 60 Mona Terrace. The owner is Anderson Robert E. Anderson trustee.
Yes.
The town has the property valued at $385,200,
Right.
and you wish it to be reduced to $340,000.
Right.
Okay, great. And I forgot to record the time.
And I submitted, when I did the appeal, I don't know if you received that or not, reasons why I said that.
Yes, and I've got it here, so we're going to go through those. But the first thing I want to do, I just want you to state your name for the record.
My name? Robert Anderson.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand, and I'm going to swear you in. Okay. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, great. So then I just need you to sign that. If they gave you a paper downstairs, just sign that and leave that for me. And that is just, saying that, yes, I did swear you in. And I witnessed that. We both witnessed that.
I just signed this, right?
Yep, just need to sign it. I'll fill out the rest for you.
That's all, okay.
Yep. This is technically a legal process, believe it or not. So
That's okay.
we try to keep it there. Okay, so now this is your opportunity. I'm going to close the door. It's busy at night around here. I'm here in the morning sometimes.
That's okay.
Not so busy. Okay.
And your name first again?
Kathleen.
Kathleen. Okay. Very nice name for you.
Now is your opportunity to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home is $340,000 and not the $385,000 that the town has. Yep. And then anything you're saying is just being recorded here. We said that. So this is your time. I have your folder here, and anything you've already submitted, I will have.
Right. There's two reasons why I say 340. One reason is because the property across the street, 67 Mona Terrace at the time, which I submitted a card for, was sold in the end of July to a gentleman for $670,000, and that was 2 building lots and a 4-bedroom cape.
Okay, and this was July 2020? When did
Yes,
it sell?
July 2020,
Okay,
yes.
so describe that property to me again. You probably have it in here.
I have it in there, yes.
Okay.
I got a property card for it in there and everything.
Perfect. Okay. The purchase agreement, did they put
There
it
should be
wrong?
one in there.
They gave me the wrong, they gave me 67 Mona Terrace. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, 60, it should be 60 and 67. 67 is the property he bought. I just put that in there so you could see the property
They
itself.
just reversed it, they put yours afterwards. Okay, no, that's,
And
yeah.
he was able to, the reason he bought it, he was able to separate, and he's building 2 houses on 2 lots. So he tore the house down, and they're in the process now of building 2 separate houses on that lot, which is double the size. But he was able to separate it.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then he also,
This card's not showing that he bought it. It's showing that Philomena McCloskey owned it.
she owned it at the time.
But
That's the only card they could give me, of the prior, which shows the square footage and everything.
yeah, but it should show, this was printed recently, right?
This was printed, she printed that, she had to go back. That was Paul, I guess, it was down in the assessor's
Got
office.
it, okay.
And he bought the property.
Usually it shows who bought it right there, but it doesn't.
Well, she said what
He
she
bought 2 lots.
had was the new one, but he separated it into 2 addresses.
Okay.
69, I believe, and 71.
69 and 71.
I believe it was 71. I know it was 69. I don't know.
67 went away, that's why.
Right, that's why she couldn't,
Got it, okay.
okay?
Yep, and he separated it into 69.
Right, and he bought that property totally for $670,000.
And there was a house on it.
With a house with a 4-bedroom cape, 1,700 square foot cape on it.
4-bedroom, cape, 2,700
Right.
square feet.
Right.
Okay.
and he tore the house down and he's building two. Now, the offer for the property that I have is from the same person.
So he
He
has offered
approached
to buy
me
your
to
property.
buy my property, and I said, what, and that's why I put that in there. He gave me a formal proposal to buy my property for $340,000.
For $340,000.
Right. And one of the reasons being, he said, is that, which I put a picture in there, I believe, behind the property is a daycare and a senior center.
Yep.
And he said that kind of takes away from it, because of the noise and, everything else too.
I don't know about that.
Well, that's what he said.
Right, I'm just saying, I know, I like to be near a pool, but that's what he said, so that's why he's only.
Well, it's a daycare.
Yeah, the kids'
You know,
daycare.
it's not, and I gotta tell you, Kathleen, the traffic on that street, later he said, if I realized the traffic on this street,
Unmomentary.
I don't think I would have bought this property.
Right.
Because he's putting up humongous houses.
Right, because you see those on James Street and some of the other streets down there, right?
He's putting up houses that are as high as you can go,
Right.
obviously, and it's a flood zone, so he has to be above, the,
Right, and your house is not, this house is not FEMA compliant.
that's just a piece of property. It's a flood zone.
Well, this is a vacant lot.
Yeah, that's just a lot. I have to come back for my house and property.
I was thinking there was a house on this one. Okay, it's just your lot, okay.
Yep, it's just a lot.
And he offered you $340,000. Okay.
Yep, and he put it in writing, so that's why I put it in there.
And when did his offer statement's in here, right, so. Let's see. Purchase agreement, 2/13/21, so he just, in February, he made you that offer?
Yes.
Or you are going to sell it?
Well, he talked to me and he said, would you be willing to sell it? And I said, well, what do you, can you give me a written of what you would pay for it? And, that's what he
You
did.
haven't signed that yet, okay. You don't have a signed agreement with him?
Well, I didn't sign anything.
That's what I'm saying.
That's just his proposal.
That's his offer, yeah. So that's a private sale, basically, offer,
Right.
yeah.
That's his proposal.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I told him what Todd, had said and everything. He said, no way. There's no utilities on it. There's no nothing. He said, I got to bring everything in. He said, it's just a piece of property, land. No utilities, no nothing on it yet.
Right, and it's in a flood zone, you said, so he would have to build something that's up.
Well, yeah, he would, like he's doing across the street.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, sorry about the confusion with your other property. And what time is the appeal at?
It's at 7:45.
I may call and listen to that one because it's, or I'll ask her.
I mean, I have the information in the car.
Yeah, like I said, if you want to wait, I probably have two other people waiting, and then, but I don't have a room.
Well, I can wait.
So, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm
I
going to.
mean, I don't want to keep you if you're,
No, the thing is, I have a slot at 5:45, it's just somebody else comes in this room, I believe at 6 o'clock, so I need to be out of here by 6, but I don't want you to wait that long. Let me go check and see, is that, well, I think you've made your case, so I'm not worried, I think, unless you have other information to give me on this, I think it's pretty strict, your case is pretty straightforward.
That's basically what I have.
Sure. Okay, so I'm just going to read to you what happens after this.
Okay.
I'll be presenting your petition to the majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision.
Right.
All decisions will be made in March. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. But if you're granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next revow is filed.
Right, I understand.
You got
that.
that, okay. And then you can always go to court if you want to afterwards, and how to do that would be in your decision letter when you get back. If you don't like it,
I'm hoping that the board has some consideration, I don't want to move, I don't want to go anywhere, even with my, with my house and property. I mean, I even have in there, I have an appraisal. The gentleman was supposed to be here with me, but he didn't show up. Well, he's supposed to be here with me
Tonight,
with
later
the
on.
48, but I don't know if he's gonna come, and I don't know if it's necessary anyway. I mean, the appraisal, I submitted it, and, everything that he had in there, and the reason why, that side.
Let me go, so I'm gonna take you downstairs. If for some reason
Do you want me to take this down, Kathleen?
no, I'm gonna take it over here from you. If for some reason what do I have next? My 5 o'clock is not here, then I can bring you back up and I can.
Yeah, I just go in the car and get my folder, I got it.
Let me just see. Sometimes they don't show, sometimes they call, sometimes.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, I can't guarantee that. And
Oh, no, I know.
Yeah, and or somebody else has a folder. If
Okay.
this is on the same street, if it was across town, I would say no, but if I'm gonna be looking at Mona Terrace, I'm not gonna look at all of them.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. I hope that this part is perfect. I really just work. I really know that people are, I mean, I just really, very much. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm thinking, I just keep smiling as well. Sorry. I do a lot of
Organizing, I'm a secretary and the paperwork, so it's a very new process this year, so that's taking more of my brain.
Same person, different room.
Sure.
Okay, so,
Yep, and I will, so I probably don't have to read the same script as the other time?
you don't, okay, now I have to be sworn in.
Yes, and I am gonna read, I'm still gonna read your things into the record. Let me just finish this March 3rd. Okay. Folder. Okay, so I'm going to read the information into the record. The appeal number is 572. The property is 104 College Place. The owner is Bar 2 LLC. The town has the property valued at $445,600, and you're requesting a reduction to $330,000.
Right.
Okay, great. And then I'm just going to ask you to raise your right hand, and I will start. Just state your name for the record.
Denise Collins.
Okay? And do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Can I enter something into the record? Because I just found a comp. I'm not really sure it's a comp because I don't know how condos work.
Okay.
But
I'm going to write down 5. Oh. Yeah, that's good.
44% increase in our land valuation. We have basically a 2,300 square foot lot. It's teeny tiny, and there's almost no way to get an accurate comp because of the size of the lot. So I did come across today this sale that happened the end of October for 709 Fairfield Beach Road, which is part of the Lund Corporation.
Okay.
And it's on the beach side, so it has private parking, private beach. It's like exactly the same size house as 104 College, and the current Zillow estimate is $400,648. Now, I don't know how they base that on land, on dwelling. And our kind of question is more about land valuation.
Okay, so you're going to enter this comp
Yeah.
for the property.
Yeah.
So you're entering 709 Fairfield Beach Road. Okay, and that sold for $390 on 10/10/30. 10/30/20 for $390. And do you think that that's similar to your property?
Well, I think it's similar in terms of size and better location because it has private parking, private entry to the
Right, it
beach.
has those two things you said.
The only thing I don't know is because it's part of the Lund, it's probably a condo and there may be some fees. I don't know kind of regulations.
Got it.
I don't know how
And you're not a condo, right?
Right, exactly. We're a single dwelling. And I did look up, the houses adjacent to us on College Place also had a 44% increase in land value. So I'm not really going to go into the house itself. It's really all about the land value.
Okay.
The reason why I'm here is because I think that even on our block, we're an anomaly. We have a telephone pole in front of our house and a sewer cap in front of our house. Both of those things, I look at the land value more for developmental purposes because it's such an old house. It's more likely to sell to a developer than anybody else. This is what you're looking at right now is a new so if you look at, are you looking at what I had originally submitted?
I have that.
Okay.
I do have that.
So you can see there's a telephone pole right there. It's also location-wise.
This is you, the one
Yeah,
on
that's
the
us.
Okay.
And it literally butts up, the back of the house literally butts up to Seagrave, which my husband owns, so we know a lot about it, and a parking lot. So it doesn't, it has no lawn, it has no space for a lawn. You literally have to tear it down in order to create any kind of property outside of the house. And then a tear down would be hard because of the telephone pole. My husband is very good friends with one of the supervisors at UI, and he said it's almost impossible to get a telephone pole moved.
Right.
So when it's directly in front of your house, it does pose a little bit of an issue. Actually,
This is on a rental property or? Yeah.
we rent it out to college kids. That's the other thing. I mean, honestly, it would be very hard to sell to somebody looking for a residential home because it's all mostly college kids down there. And it doesn't have a nice adjacency with the parking lot and Seagrave. One of the things that we were curious about is whether or not the valuation was based on beach access through Lighthouse Point. Lighthouse Point is how every once in a while there's like a private, and there's a public entryway in the middle of the private.
I lived there in college, so I remember.
Right. So,
Long time ago.
so Lighthouse Point is one of those entries. It's adjacent to Lantern Point. So if you look at the second page of the new entry, I just went today and took some pictures.
Oh, here, I'm not looking at the 709 Beach Road. Okay.
It's the second page of 709. It's actually the 709.
Okay.
So the second page. So this is what Lantern Point looks like right now. When you call the town, they say when you have access to the Lighthouse Point, everything up to the tide line is public access. So the people who own on Lantern Point should not be putting fences up and barriers up with the low tide. I mean, they technically are putting up barriers for people to be able to cross. So this essentially, and honestly, I mean, I don't want to speak ill of my neighbors, but I've been there, they harass you. You know, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm below the tide line.
Right.
But they've pretty much made it impossible for anybody to use Lighthouse Point. What the people who do use Lighthouse Point, and I know that it's been an issue for the town, are the fishermen who come in, they do illegal fishing.
Right.
So because they can't block off the jetty.
Right.
But I think also because there are so many illegal fishermen is probably why they've gotten so
So Lighthouse Point, that is a public access point, but
Yeah.
the way that they have it with everything here.
Okay, exactly. You can't get to the beach,
Sure,
which means that our house is a half a mile to the beach.
Okay, so you can't get to the beach.
Right. And that's really it, because we don't take any issue with the dwelling valuation. That actually, you know, saw a little depreciation. It's just kind of,
Right.
this lot is such an odd little lot. And when you look at that new comp that is estimated right now at $400,000, you know, it's raised, it's got beach access, all of those kinds of bells and whistles. I mean, I really don't feel like I can give you much more.
Yeah, so your land is valued at $393, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay, and the dwelling is at 51, so it's a lot that it has the majority of the value, obviously.
Exactly.
And you're saying because this is a condo over here, you're not sure how it.
I'm not sure how you value it, but it is on the beach.
And you would consider that a comp on the beach that's valued more, so you think you should be less because you're not on the beach and because you don't have parking?
Right, and because,
Okay.
well, also because we have those two oddities with the telephone pole and the sewer cap.
Right.
You know, we're not on, you know, we're surrounded by college, you know, the bar.
I love it there. Please don't go.
Please come to Seagrave this summer. I know I'm like talking ill of my own livelihood.
No, we're going to play darts when nobody's there. Early in the night.
But you can't play darts anymore.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while.
But hopefully this summer, those kinds of things will be back in play. No pun
That's
intended.
fun. Oh, God.
So that's it. We just ask that you look at that land and that you take into account some of the kind of oddities of our particular property.
Yep.
And
And
then,
using this as a comparable sale. to that
Exactly.
condo. Okay.
all right.
I think I got it. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And I can read you the closing statement as I did before, but if you remember it from last time, it's exactly the
Totally
same.
fine. I really appreciate how hard you all are working and the opportunity to come in and speak our piece.
Yes, if my dog knows who I am, by the end of the month of March, I'll be in good shape. As long as she welcomes me home every day.
All right.
All right, well, thank you, I appreciate you doing this quickly, we can get him back up here.
Thank you.
That was a scheduling mistake on our part to make him come back to the elevator, so. Perfect. Okay, and you can tell her to send him up. Okay. Oh, we got you back.
Thank you so much,
Maybe we go
Kathy.
for dinner.
I really appreciate
I
it.
apologize, I had a hand in
No, you don't apologize, you're staying.
I had a hand in the scheduling, so I can't excuse myself from that.
No. I really appreciate you doing that.
I don't catch the ones that are cross
Then I could go home and have my dinner and take a shower
Me too, sometimes. All right, let me put this one away. Now, did they give you your folder yet or not?
Well, you should have.
Well, I don't because I wasn't your hearing
You
officer.
need this?
Just, do you know what the appeal number is? Did she tell you your appeal number?
Pardon?
Did she tell you this? In other words, we have the purple folders for what we're going to hear. I don't have your purple folder because I wasn't going to hear your appeal.
Well, I have a copy of what I
But you
gave.
tell me, yeah, it is 269.
I have a copy of everything I submitted.
Great, and I can look it up online, so as long as you're okay with me having a piece of paper.
But
Appeal number 269, And I'm gonna look it all up online.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Yeah, whatever I submitted, I have right here.
Let me just make sure my recording.
If you wanna,
Yep, recording's still on. And I will need you to,
again,
raise your right hand again for me.
Yep.
Yep, I'm gonna swear you in, and let me read this stuff in the record first, so I keep the same order, but I just have to look it up. Let's see. Agenda. Let's see. The system we set up really works. I should be able to call into your paperwork. Today is 3:03 in the afternoon. And what time was your hearing?
it's in Fairfield, it's 48 Mona Terrace.
48 Mona. I see it right here. Okay, let me try to get the paperwork.
And again, it's,
Yep, I got it.
Robert Anderson trustee.
48 Mona Terrace. Okay, so let's see if I can do this without the, let me get the sheet. Okay, so I'm going to read into the record. This is appeal number 269. Property is located at 48 Mona Terrace. The owner of the property is, and you said it is Robert Anderson, trustee?
That's correct.
Right, trustee, okay. The town has the property valued at $478,700, and you wish to have the property reduced to $405,000.
Right.
Okay, great. So, I'm going to have you raise your right hand.
Yep,
Where you in, so I can find. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. And did she give you a piece of paper to sign, or no? No. Oh, yeah, she did. She gave you another one. Perfect. You put this back.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a picture of the senior center in the back. We have an appraisal done by Joseph and Ania as of October 1st, 2021. And let's see, what can I see here? Oh, okay. So why don't you go ahead and talk to me about it? I'm gonna, I've got the comp stuff online here, but if you want to walk me through the appraisal, what properties you used as comp.
Oh, I know, I have it right here.
Yeah, but if you just can you talk me through? I mean, if you just.
That was the appraiser on the phone, I was just calling.
Oh, you could have put him on speakerphone. Just call him back. I can call him right here if you got his number. I'll put him on the speaker. We just have to, we just have
Yeah, you
to.
could answer it, then you could answer it.
Yeah, I'll call him right. I'm going to call him on the speakerphone if you tell me his number.
Okay, hold on a second here. 203. Oh, wait a minute, let's see here. What the heck is this? 203 767 1733. And his name is Joseph Anaya.
Is he an attorney?
You have reached the phone of Joseph Banania. Please leave a message, and I will return the phone call as soon as I am able. Thank you.
Okay, so maybe.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or.
Maybe he was calling again.
You could. We could put your phone.
Let me call him and see.
Yeah, and we can put your phone over here.
He'll recommend, well, then I'll tell you you're calling him. Because he should Hi, Joe. How are you? It's Bob. I know. They were nice enough. The young lady is taking me right now, and she has some questions on the appraisal, and she's going to call you and put you on speakerphone. Okay? So she's going to call you right back. Okay. Okay, let's do that.
Let's try it again. You're going to have to read it to me again because I don't know how to
Okay,
do this.
203 767 1733. I owe you.
No worries. I'm happy that we can get this done for you.
Hello, Joe Banania.
Okay, great, Joe. This is Kathleen Griffin. I'm a member of the Fairfield Board of Assessment Appeals. And we have your client here with your appraisal, and... Yes, and are you an attorney?
No.
No, okay, so I'm going to swear you in so that you can provide testimony at this hearing. So if you could just read your name into the record again.
All right, Joseph Anania, real estate appraiser.
Sure, okay, and then even though I can't see you, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand, and I'm going to swear you in. Do you ready? Okay, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God, I do.
Okay, great. So now you can present the appraisal to me. I'm looking at it online here, so if you can just run it through me and tell me what your comps are and, you know, how you came up to your, okay, I'll look at your hard copy.
Everything is in here.
Okay, great.
All right. First and foremost, I want to let you know that I did inspect this property on the inside and out, okay? Now, one of the issues, with the house is that the upper level is unheated, all right? And the town was counting it as gross living area, which is really not the correct thing. Also, there were several other issues with the house being older, all right? It's not updated. It's not upgraded like a lot of other houses. And there's also some external obsolescence as the school and senior center is directly behind the house.
Okay.
Okay. And it's not really close to the beach also.
Right.
All right. I did select 3 comparables. I tried to get them as close to the subject as possible. One is the first comparable is 161 Flat Street in Fairfield. Sold on 3/25 of 2020 for $415,000. It was a similar type Cape Cod house at 952 square feet, which is a little bit larger than the subject. All right. And that one adjusted out at 407,315. I made adjustments for condition. It was in slightly superior condition. And I adjusted for gross living area. It had a 1-car garage just like this subject, a full unfinished basement, and gas heat. All right, and the lot size was very similar. The second comparable that I used was 298 Woodrow Avenue in Fairfield. That property sold for $425,000. It closed on April 2nd of 2020. A little bit larger lot at 0.23 acres. And again, it was a little bit larger in size. It was a 3-bedroom, so I had to adjust the gross living area. Had a 1-car garage similar to the subject and a full unfinished basement, and it was a similar style house. After adjustment, that comparable came in at $396,765. And the third comparable was 127 Blair Street, Blaine Street.
I'm sorry, 127 Blaine? Okay.
127 Blaine Street.
Yeah.
Sold for $417,000 on November 21st of 2019. It's a little bit older sale, but again, it was a little bit superior to the subject as far as the interior condition. Again, it was a little bit larger house, but I had to adjust downward to that, but it did have a 1-car garage and a full unfinished basement. So after adjustments, that one came in at $407,941. So after I adjusted all 3, I came in at $405,000.
Okay, and I've got the appraisal here. My eyes are getting a little crossed today. What was that sale price? $425 on the Blaine, $417 on the Blaine Street, right?
Yeah, 417 on Blaine Street, yeah.
And that was a little bit older, but that's still within the
A little bit older.
Yeah, but still within the
I did check these sales, that they were all closed according to the town clerk's office, so then none of these sales were pendings or listings. They were all closed sales.
Closed sales, okay, and they were a little bit last, yeah, just as COVID hit last spring, so. Okay.
Right.
Anything else you want to add to this? I mean, I'm looking at the pictures here in the appraisals. That's always very helpful. You just ran through your numbers with me. If you had to pick one of them that you think isn't Woodrow kind of not in the same area?
Somewhat, yeah.
I don't have the map. Sometimes I'm looking for the map. Sometimes there's a map in the appraisal of where the location properties are.
Yeah. But again, it was a little bit superior to the subject, and as far as location, but it's really hard to really quantify the difference in value for the location on that one.
Sure. Yeah, but Pratt and Blaine are fairly close to you, right? Yeah, close to Mother.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if these ones back up to the school in the parking lot or not, or they have other homes in the back. So,
well, that one on Woodrow, one reason why I selected that one in Woodrow, it's very similar in condition to the subject.
Similar condition, okay.
Yes.
And these are smaller, the square footages you said were pretty close.
Yeah, if you look at the town gross living area, it is larger because they're including the upper level.
Right.
Which is unheated. So
is there a ceiling height?
I have the square footage of 780 square feet for 2 and 1.
Okay. Is that finishable up there? Is the height in the attic?
It's an attic area. It's got a floor. And right now, Kathleen, it's being used for storage because there's no heat.
Right, but could...
It's unheated. When I was up there, it was cold.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm just saying, could you dormer it out and finish it? Is the ceiling height high enough, or is it considered a ranch?
Well, at the end, it has to be dormered.
But you could dormer it, then you have enough height up there if you dormer it out.
Right.
Right, yeah, it's a foot.
Yeah, I think.
And there's no bathroom. There's only one bathroom in the house.
You've got one bathroom. Okay. Yeah, no, I think this is very thorough. I think if there's anything else you want to add to the record at this point, I think he can go home and have dinner if he wants to.
I want you to go home.
I will. I'll go home actually. I'm done in an hour, so I'm good, or whatever. Somewhere around there. Yeah. All right.
Well, I hope that helps.
I think
I put a lot of time into these things. It's not like I just pick these things off the shelf.
No.
Usually when I select these comparables, I usually pull at least 10 of them. All right, and I try to with the multiple listing services, you could imagine you could look at the map and see where all the sales are in relation to the subject. So I try to pick location first. And then, gross living area or size.
Right.
Second, because, location is a big driver of value also.
Correct.
But again, it's not a big lot. It's not a big house. It would be excellent for what do you call it, for a first home buyer.
Mm-hmm.
It's that type, it's an entry type house.
Right.
This is basically what it is. Then needs upgrading.
And it's in a flood zone, right? So,
yes.
Yeah.
It is in a flood zone. Yeah. And last time with Sandy, whatever was, the water came like...
Oh, no.
I was real lucky.
You sure were. Okay, so I'm going to hang up the phone now unless you have anything else you want to say. We're good? Say goodnight?
Well, have a nice evening.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for answering.
Yes, appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you. It's very helpful. All right. Goodbye.
And then I got a list of things here that house needs. I just haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't had the finances, Kat, to tell you the truth. And it's only me and my companion, and we've just been making do what we have. The kitchen needs renovating. The bath. The kitchen's the same cabinets where my mother owned it,
So, if you're happy and you get to
they're
go to
working,
church and,
and
your heart
I grew up there, Kathy. I grew up in that house.
So it's got good memories in both.
And you can see the plumbing and everything. Eventually, I have to take care of it because it's very bad.
Right. Okay, now do you want this one back? I'm guessing that...
Well, it's up to you if you want it, but, I brought it, it's just a copy.
It's just, you have another copy home? Okay.
you know.
Yeah, there's one in the folder, like I said, you have a purple folder somewhere, so there's probably a copy in there.
Oh, there is, yeah.
Yeah, so I can
I
get
mean,
that.
if you want to keep it, that's fine.
You don't need it, I will keep it for me, just because I'd like to.
Okay,
put it home
that's
and
okay.
make some notes on it.
I don't know if you want a list of these things that this thing needs, but, you know, like, he's pretty much explained it, you know.
Yeah, would
Joe,
you put that list?
He's a nice guy, he was pretty thorough.
He
He
was
went
very
through,
thorough,
he
I
took
thought.
pictures, he, you know,
Yeah.
he, he was
You can do a
pretty
good
thorough.
job. And that sheet that you just had there, when I walk it down, I'm just going to, give a copy of it in the copier, or you can give it to me, which is what you want.
What's that?
It's the list of things it needs. It's always
Oh,
helpful.
oh, oh. I just was jotting them down,
That works for me.
you know,
You'd be
it's
surprised.
nothing fancy.
It's
You know.
okay. Appeal number 269.
I know this coming year I have to address the roof, I know that I know.
I
And
just did.
that's not cheap either.
No, I just did my read.
My neighbors haven't done, and it's, you know, it's crazy. And with the, you know, I mean, I'm on social, and, you know, I try to do a few little things, you know, to help a guy out, you know, that I used to know and everything else, you know, to keep at least a little bit, you know, but it's tough,
And Zoom, I'm getting.
And I want to stay here. I mean, I grew up in that house, I want to stay here. I want to die here, you know. Like the elderly lady that sold the property I told you before across the street,
Yes,
Mr. Makowski.
yeah.
I was helping her for her last 5 years. She just died a year ago in February. And she was 105 years old. And
Well, there's some good energy in that part of the neighborhood.
she had taken a false up, and her son temporarily put her in the Fairfield home there.
Mhm.
And I think she caught something. Because when she came home, she just got weaker and worse and weak. I think she caught something like the COVID there. I really do. She had all the symptoms, and then she just...
I think it was around here a lot earlier than they thought it was.
I would have never put her
Yeah.
here. He happened to be here visiting at Christmas time, and he didn't want nothing. You know, I would have had her come home and get her a full-time, you know, person to stay with.
Right.
But, you know, it wasn't my mother, so, you know. But, yeah, and she died in February. She passed away last year. And then, of course, they don't live around here, so they sold the property.
And now you're gonna have two big houses across the street.
And, you know, I didn't know, but at the time, you know, that she bought the house with me and everything, the property could be separated. Because it was before after a certain date, the real estate said you can't do that.
Right.
But he was able to do it. Anyway.
All right, nice to see you. I know, great, and I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much.
You were around there later. I mean, you have, I don't know how old you are, so I'm gonna make assumptions about that. But we do have senior taxes in the town, you know that, right? So, you know.
Right.
Hi, so I have one, I had to take a gentleman who probably you had at 8 o'clock, so he didn't have to come back.
Okay.
We had two. So I've got one hearing left. You're welcome to sit and listen, or are you going to go in the auto room and there's a table across from Harold if you want to prepare a little bit or whatever. I'm just going to take this last one.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Let me just grab my phone.
Yeah. Okay. You just put this in the record.
You can
I'm
sit
sorry,
over
yeah, you
there.
can go there. Sorry. Okay, great. So sorry about that. We got, and I need that.
So I'm Kathleen Griffin. I am one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Okay.
I am here to hear your appeal today, and your hearing is being recorded on that phone on the table right there.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say a few things into the record about your property, and just correct me if any of it is wrong.
Okay.
So your appeal number is 377. Your property address is 57 Alden Street. The owner of the property is Karen Savage. Town has the property valued at $475,400, and you're requesting a reduction to $400,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. And it is 565. Here. And I just need you to state your name for the record,
Okay.
and whether you're the owner or the duly authorized agent.
I am the owner. I am Karen Savage.
Okay, great. And then I'm just going to ask you to raise your right hand, and I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yeah. Okay, great. There. Okay, so now this is your opportunity to tell me why you believe the value of your property should be reduced to $400,000.
Okay, I have it. My goodness. Okay, so I was looking at comps in the beach area that were sold the year from the beginning of 2020, January 2020, to the end of October of 2020. And I have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath bungalow under 1,200 square feet. So there were only 2 homes that were comped in the beach area sold during that time. The addresses, are, again, in the beach area, but both sold for what I consider significantly less than what my house is valued at.
Okay.
So there's a home that one of the comps is within steps of the beach, and the location is ideal for, they'll have a water view, and that was sold for $20,400 less than what my house is currently valued at.
Okay, so can you give me the address? I have
53 Baldwin Terrace.
53 Baldwin Terrace.
53.
Okay. So you would say that is, and it's sold on, can you just read me the sale price and the date? Or
Sure, I have
a little
it here.
hard to see it here on the, maybe I don't have my red reading glasses on.
Yeah, I did pull that out.
455 maybe, is it in here? Okay.
Yeah, 455. Yep, 455.
Well, I see it's on your, I was looking at.
Yeah, I did include it all.
Great. 455, yep.
And,
On 11, right close to the reval rate. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So for 455, and how does that compare to you? You said it's closer to the beach?
yeah, so like they'll have a water view. They're doing work on it, I'm guessing.
Right, with a water view.
Yeah.
Okay, and is it bigger, smaller, lot size?
The lot size, I don't know. So the lot sizes I'm not really sure of because I don't have all that information.
That's okay. Okay, I can look at that, but if you just say it's very similar to you in terms of.
In terms of the comps, the 2-bedroom, 1-bath.
Okay, and then the second one you have is the 40 Lynn Street.
40 Lynn Street was sold for $425, and which is $52,400 less than what mine's valued at. That is more square footage, built, 30 years plus after mine, and it has a garage.
Newer and a garage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other, it's not a direct comp, but directly across the street from me, 56 Alden Street, sold at the end of October. It's only because it has two bathrooms and 2 full baths. That sold for $411 on October 26th, 2020.
So that was sold for $411,000 on October 26th of 2020.
Correct.
And so it has one more bath than you?
Correct.
Okay, and anything else that is?
Slightly more square footage and a bigger lot. And yeah.
The square footage in the house or the lot, you said?
Both.
Okay, so it's a more square footage in the lot, more square footage in the house.
Yeah, and that was $64,400 less. And
Sold for $411. So basically you have 3 sales, one at $455 in November, one at $425 in July, and one at $411 on 10/26.
Yeah.
And they're all nicer than your house.
Yeah, I mean, they're all, well, they're cost, and they certainly have a nice, more, what's the word I'm looking for? Bathrooms or functions, like the garage, certainly build out, one of them is with water views and stuff.
And are they FEMA compliant? What's the difference?
No, I don't, so it didn't
And
look,
are you FEMA compliant?
No.
Okay,
No.
none of them are. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't look to me like any of them were.
Okay, yeah, this year for the first time, they took FEMA compliancy into consideration when they were doing the evaluation. They took docks, and there were a few things they added.
Okay.
So that can affect the value of yours versus theirs.
Yeah, I mean, because in my own research, homes that are not FEMA compliant suffer generally 30% less than other homes. So,
let's see, and this is all, you printed these sales off.
yeah.
Is that from Vision?
So no, that's not from Vision.
Okay. That's a good one to have, but I don't know.
So it's a local realtor who posted it for her beach area neighbors.
Got it. Very helpful for us.
Yeah, it's very kind of doing that.
Great. Yeah. All right, is there anything else? I see your letter here, so I'm going to read, it's been a crazy day. I'm going to read through that a little bit more when I'm at home and it's quieter because we have all this stuff online.
Pretty much states everything we
Okay.
covered.
And anything else you want to add to the record? We already have all of
No,
that.
I think, I am assuming that for my appeal, losing the comps within the last year is
You did your job. You made my life so much easier.
Okay.
So I appreciate that. So I'm just going to read a closing statement for you, so you make sure you know what happens next.
Okay.
I will be presenting your petition to a majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. We will be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision. All decisions will be made in March, unless because we can't get through 650 in March, we'll be asking for an extension to April. I want my life back, so let's see. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you're granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next reval in 5 years.
Okay.
But with that, whatever happens, whatever the decision is, if you don't agree, you can take the next step and appeal your decision in court. Instructions on how to appeal in court will be in your decision letter. I think you have either 30 or 60 days to tell the town you're going to go to court.
Okay.
Yeah. And plenty of people do that, certainly within your well, part of the state statutes and regulations. Real estate, because everybody's taxes are so tied to their homes, statutes are pretty strict. So that's everybody's right to be able to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. And did you sign that?
So I need to sign this, right?
Yeah, if you sign that, I swore you in. Yep, I will sign it and add it to the record.
Yeah.
And then I will let John have his room for the rest of the night, and I'll go home. Great.
And Judy has a.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being so organized.
I did my research.
You did, and you didn't give me 100 pages to look through, so that's overwhelming sometimes. Appreciate that. Okay, have a good night. Thank you. I don't think we need a separate recording, just going to tell you, it does just say, organized. I got my papers, but I will, had one that I took out that I didn't have, so I got to find it in the folder now.
Okay, well, here, just.
Yeah. I'm good, Mom. I've got I know what my piles are, so let me just.
Yep. You're so efficient.
It's getting better, and you will get faster.
Okay.
I think having that minute sheet to read from makes it get much more efficient, and then
Okay.
I think, I don't know. And I'm actually pulling all my note sheets out, and I'm going to go sit quietly and, I take them on a piece of paper.
Yep.
And I usually copy them. Some people are taking them home and typing them up too, and don't get it, as opposed to try to do it well. Somebody's being I just have tonight's agenda up here, my particular
Okay, good.
appeal. Yeah, I haven't bookmarked any of that stuff yet, but I find it helpful to click on the agenda and then, on that. I don't know why the PDF isn't staying open. That's what I really like for the whole night. It's for this to stay up like this for me. For some reason, the window keeps closing, and maybe if you're better with this to spell
Yeah, I think you have to open it in a new tab.
Yeah, it is in a new tab, but then when I click over to the appeal number, it will put, I want the new appeal number to go to a new tab and not close the agenda on me, and that's what's happening. Maybe I just need to bookmark the agenda. I want to close out your meeting. Get it next to other. Plus I'm a lefty, so now.
That's why it was over on this side yesterday.
Oh, and the power strip died this morning, so Kath, all the computers jammed in the corner, but feel free to move it around.
Oh, that's okay.
Use the new power strip, just might shut the computer down, I'm not sure. We meant to do it this morning when we were done.
That's okay.
Or, increase the cord, yeah.
I'll take it.
Poor Catherine, she was training this morning, and it was like, okay, I was on the floor typing with the keyboard, and she was.
Oh, jeez. All right, so my first one is the phone here.
Oh, nice. And you just want to read into the record there that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to come grab my coat.
Okay. This is John Spolier. Today is March 3rd. It is 5:59 p.m. This is an evening hearing session of the Board of Assessment Appeals in Room 2.
Well, I will talk to you later. I may have grabbed your, oh no, you grabbed your pillar. Okay.
Nope,
I thought I grabbed it.
all good.
And if you have, I don't know, I took somebody out of order, Anderson on Mona Terrace. I don't know who has it tonight. Is that you?
I don't have an
You don't have
Anderson.
it. Okay. Someone's going to have that one come out. I will grab the folder. So I have to figure out who has it.
Okay.
The Mona Terrace.
All right, cool.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think if there's any changes in the procedure from last night. We do this last night with you. We took the forms down to the desk. She's going to hand when they sign the affidavit or when they've been sworn in, she's putting the appeal number on downstairs and they're going to come up with it.
Okay, so it's not there for it to fill up.
Yeah, and it's on their mind in case we forget. Worst case we walk up and they're like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yep.
So they have those. I think that's going to work better. That is one less. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello?
Hi, is this Patricia?
It is, hi.
Hi, this is John Spolier. I am one of the members of the BAA, Board of Assessment Appeals. Hopefully you were expecting my call.
I was, yes. I requested the call, so.
Okay. All right. So I'll be the one hearing your case tonight, and it will be recorded as well, just to let you know. I just need to go through a few things. For the record, please correct me if any of this is inaccurate. Okay?
All right.
Your appeal number is 160.
I don't have my actual appeal number in front of me, but I'm going to. I could look for that.
Okay.
I have everything else but that.
All right. Hopefully it'll be easier than as we go along here. The property address that you're appealing is 561 Penfield Road?
Yes.
Okay, the owner of the property is Eric and Patricia Bull?
Yes. I mean, technically I'm hyphenated, but that's fine.
Okay.
I think that's what you guys have said.
Yep. All right, the town has assessed your property or the town has property appraised at $1,325,900.
Yep.
And you are requesting that the town reduce your appraised value to $1,250,000.
Yes.
Okay. And I just need to confirm that you are the owner of the property.
I am.
Okay. I will be. I just need to swear you in here.
Great. And you did say appeal number 160, right?
That is correct. Yep.
Great. Yes, that is correct.
All right. So again, I just need to swear you in here, so I'm going to assume that you'll raise your right hand, not that I can see it.
Yes.
Okay, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, so now is your chance to tell me about your appeal.
Great. So basically just confirming what I already sent in writing in both the informal appeal and the final appeal is the majority of my concern is over the land value increase this year over last year, or I guess 5-year period, as well as the property, but mostly on the land value.
Okay.
So I do see that the property value has gone down a slight amount. It looks to be that the prior property value was $489,790. It's now $486,360, which is not consistent with the age of the home and the lack of modifications that have been done. So it definitely has not taken the depreciation consistent with the age of the home. But mostly where I have the most concern is the land value, and as I pointed out, we have a non-conforming, incredibly small lot that is not conducive to what buyers are looking for today, and I have been told that by real estate agents. as buyers are looking to put in pools more and more and looking for two-car attached garages. And then all of the data that I looked at on the town records are incredibly confusing to me, where I see lots that are larger than mine that either abut or are very close or same proximity to the beach are valued at less or essentially the same, and they're larger lots. And so I'm very confused at how my land assessment increased in value as much as it did when neighboring properties did not.
Okay.
And I sent over documentation on specific properties, and I'm happy to go into detail on any number of those.
So you have a non-conforming lot that's smaller,
Yes.
will not accommodate a pool.
No. In fact, the house right now is grandfathered in. It does not even meet the setbacks, as I understand the people that built it didn't even get a variance, but at the point your house was already built. So it's in the setbacks as it is today.
Okay. You indicate that there's less baths than similar-sized homes, correct?
Sorry.
Yeah, less baths than similar-sized homes.
Bath.
Baths. Yep.
No, I didn't say bath.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, so one of the things is that your lot, you said your lot is priced the same.
The same or higher than larger lots that are within a block from my home.
Okay.
And I did send a bunch of information on those.
Yep, I've got it here. One of the things that you indicate about, you have the 263 Lally Boulevard,
Yes,
right, as one of them,
yes.
the same block. There,
One street over, but technically from a appraisal point of view, better street because it's not a through street.
yep,
Same with Birch Road. Birch Road is the most concerning because it's literally practically touching my house. It has a larger lot, still a smaller non-conforming lot, but their home value has decreased substantially, and their lot price is also lower.
okay. All right. And just check one thing here with it. Okay.
And I know you've probably heard this from others, but it's just confusing how homes, particularly the land assessment within one block, could be so substantially different.
And it's on the same physical block, right? Would you say?
Well, one of the homes that I sent, 362 Penfield, is one block down, but 5 houses away from mine with a 14,000 square foot lot. And it appraised just slightly more than my property that's, 6,000 square feet.
Okay. And that's with the lot and the land, okay. Just because I don't have the data in front of me, the value or the houses that you have here for similar or comparable, were all these sold or any of these sold within the last 12, 16 months?
Yes, several of them were, maybe not all of them, but I tried to look at both. Those that have sold and those that were just comparable within the area. Particularly those that had land values that were less or not equitable to mine.
All right, and on your lot, is there anything, I guess a question I have with the lot is, it's 100% buildable on, technically, there's no wetlands or anything like that?
Right, yeah.
Okay. Age and condition of the home, I just want to make sure, I just want to see here. For a sec. Okay, 561.
2008, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And it was built in 2008, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Wait. Demo in 2007. Yep. New construction completed. All right. And you did you talk to Municipal Valuation Services?
Is that the informal appeal process?
Yes, the informal appeal. Okay.
I did, and they did reduce it a little bit. I don't remember the original valuation. It came back a little bit more reduced.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the ones who suggested, if I wasn't happy with it, to file a formal appeal.
Yep. Just making notes here.
Yeah, and you said you said 100%. I don't know what percent that means, but according to the field record, it says 98%.
98%. Now you got me confused, but I think I know. I mean, the condition is 1.0. The land is 6750, correct?
Yes.
Is what they have.
The size, the square footage.
Yeah, the square footage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anything else I should know about?
No, I think just the two main points were that the house has not been updated whatsoever. And, you know, as I pointed out in my prior notes,
Yep.
it has had some consistent water damage, of which we've replaced some of it, but we keep having water damage. So all the floors on the first floor need to be replaced and or refinished, as well as some on the second floor, as well as the kitchen because it's had some warping because of the water damage.
Okay, so that's the outdated kitchen and bath also need improvements aspect.
Yeah, well, the bathrooms just need improvements because they're from the original build, so they're out of date with his standards. But the other pieces actually need to be fixed. My insurance was canceled once because of claims, so I have now filed another insurance claim to fix the last one.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. You talk about Roland Road, 377, had no property increase with this revaluation. We talked about 362 Penfield. You have the 263 Raleigh. That's per unit. Okay.
Yeah, we did talk about Birch, which is the one that after Sandy was completely gutted, elevated, remodeled, has been put on the market for significantly more, and their home decreased in value by $60,000 plus dollars, $68,000.
Okay. All right. Anything else I should know about to take back to the board for our deliberation?
I guess just next step.
Yep.
There's a meeting tomorrow, I think, but when do we hear back?
Okay, so the next step is that I'll present the case to the rest of the board. We'll have a majority there. And we will deliberate. Once we come to a judgment, or not a judgment, but a decision, you will be we'll let you know within 7 days via mail. Okay? If we decline, if we decline your appeal, you will have the ability to come back the following year to appeal again. If we do approve a change of value, you will not be able to appeal to the Board of Assessment Appeals for another 5 years. So basically, until the next revaluation.
Okay.
And either way, whatever the outcome is, if you are not satisfied with it, you will have the option to appeal in court. And that information will be detailed in the letter that you receive, in your decision letter. Okay?
Great. And will more information, if the appeal is not granted, on what grounds it's not granted? Because I know folks have been trying to better understand the evaluation process, again, particularly for land, because it's been confusing and data seems to be inconsistent. Will you provide information as to why certain actions or judgments were taken one way or another?
I do not know if we will be providing it in the decision letter that we give, but all the deliberations will be recorded and posted for you to review.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate the time today.
Yep, no problem. Thank you. And we will talk to you, or you'll be hearing from us, I guess, is lack of a better term. Yes.
And I do appreciate the time because I know you have a lot of work ahead of you. So.
Yep, we do have 650 appeals to hear. So.
Yep. Well, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
All right.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
Good. How are you? What's that?
Something that you last time. Did you do this last time?
No, I did not.
Oh, no. I can't tell what it looks like.
I know.
Yeah.
So have a seat
there?
over there, yep.
Okay, good.
Okay. I'm John Spolier. I'm one of the 9 members of the BAA.
Okay.
I'll be hearing your appeal tonight. Okay, I just need to go over, validate a few things here. Okay, so your appeal number is 543.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, sorry. The property address that we're appealing tonight is 672 Roland Avenue.
Roland Road?
The Roland Road, yep. The owners are yourself and Eric.
Yep.
Okay, the town valued your property at $1,302,900, and you're asking for a reduction of $1,100,000.
Yep.
Okay, and you are the owner, right, of that? Okay, I just need to, verify something, okay. I just need to sign or swear you in. Okay, yep, hand up. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, excellent. Okay, so you are appealing the assessment?
Yeah. Did you
And
get my paperwork?
I do have some paperwork here.
I kept it really short and sweet this year.
Okay, so you've got the address, okay, of yours, the size, square foot, et cetera?
Yeah.
This is the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, yep, that's been submitted.
Okay. So really, I'm going to make it easy.
Okay,
This tells the whole story. This
Okay.
basically tells the whole story of, to explain to you why we think we're clearly we've been overvalued.
okay,
Okay, so if we take a look at my house,
yep,
it's under 2,500 square feet.
yep,
It was built in 1953.
mm-hmm,
It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath house.
okay,
Okay? It was appraised at 13029. So, 13003, right?
mm-hmm,
Okay, let's start with the completely new, renovated, post-Sandy houses. Okay? So we've got 715 Roland.
mm-hmm,
In contrast, it's 3726 square feet. Right? So it's
Yep.
like 1,300 more square feet than mine, almost.
mm-hmm,
5-bedroom, 3 full, 1 half bath, built in 2012. Mine was built in 1953.
mm-hmm,
Their appraisal is 1,235.
okay,
Then you've got 657 Roland, which is also over 3,100 square feet. Over 600 square feet bigger than mine. Again, 5-bedroom, 4-bath. Mine is 3, 2.5.
mm-hmm,
Well, he's been renovating it forever, but even without that, it's like a 2020 house,
mm-hmm,
and his is 11444. So again, it's over 600 square feet bigger. He's got a nice big backyard. He's got 5 bedrooms, 4 baths. When I tell you I can use that space, trust me on it.
mm-hmm,
And again, like substantially lower than ours. Like I can't even figure out how to justify this. I can't even figure it out. And then just a couple more comps, again, on my street. Now, 644 Roland is 2 houses away from me.
okay,
Let's say it's 2176. Okay. It's 3-bedroom, 3 baths.
okay,
Now, they were built in 1951, but he raised it after Sandy. Okay?
okay,
So he's got garages under the house. He's got a room under the house. So substantially more space, because I don't have that.
mm-hmm,
And his was valued at $1,041,000.
okay,
Then we have 743, which is like comparable size, 2368, like 100 less than mine, 3-bedroom, 2 bath, 1953. I mean, that's pretty similar to mine. It's literally only 100 square feet smaller. Built the exact same year as my house, and his appraisal is $1,022,300.
okay,
So when I look at all of these, I mean, that's my case. Like, how on earth do you take a 1953 house with 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths?
mm-hmm,
I know the one reason that it's high, and I want to address it. We moved here from Westport 5.5 years
okay,
ago, okay? Number one, I'm sure you would understand when I say to you, your perspective is very different when you move from Westport to Fairfield in terms of cost of housing. It's there's a disparity. I had sold my house. I have 4 kids, 2 dogs and a cat. Nobody would rent us a house. I didn't own a house yet. We were desperate. This house was not on the market. Somebody told us about it. We did not use a real estate agent, so we didn't know the true value. In fact, the things that a real estate agent does for you, and I know that because I am one now, we didn't get. So we overpaid for our house. Long and the short of it. I came from Westport, my perspective was off. 2, I did not have a real estate agent. And 3, we were literally in a desperate situation. I still had a kid in high school. I still had kids home. When I tell you we sold the house, which we didn't expect to, and we had no place to live, we just gave the guy what he asked. No questions asked. And we overpaid. We did overpay, but don't hold that against us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we paid too much. The house is appreciated. There is no insulation in the house. I don't know how we got away with that, honestly. I would love the town to come see that. We've opened up walls. There's no insulation. We have a drafty 1953 house. 3 bedroom, 2.5 baths. And on this page, we are the highest appraised. And other than overpaying for it, I can't figure out how to justify this.
I'm just looking here.
Yeah. I mean...
So did the assessor go, couple things. One, you did have an informal hearing, correct? With the municipal valuation services, okay.
Yeah.
And did they change? They did drop it some? Okay.
Some. But they still raised it, you know what?
Well, overall.
Obviously.
Yeah. Okay. And did somebody from the assessor's office come out? It looks like there might have been a visit or something recently.
Nobody knows.
Okay, did you talk to anybody in the assessor's office recently?
In the assessor's office?
Yeah.
I spoke to, what's his name?
Ross?
I spoke to him a while ago.
Okay.
But no. There's another guy?
I don't know who that is. KC might be the initials.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. I mean, I'm just looking at the visit change history on your card here, and there was something on February 2nd, and it said change, and I'm assuming it's record by assessor B. So I just didn't know what that was for.
Assessor from the town of Fairfield?
Town of Fairfield.
Well, it's still not reflected, but we do not have a gunite pool, and we've been charged for a gunite pool. It's a vinyl pool.
Yep, and it does say here, it says on your card, it says correction to in-ground pool to vinyl.
But it's never happened. It's not reflected on it. Like the number has stayed the same, and it's not on the at least on vision appraisal. So he said that internally it could be different, but I may not see it. But if you're not seeing it, then who's seeing it? Because don't you have like their record?
Yeah, I do have it.
Do you see any reduction from the 13029? I know they're going to do it. I'm not worried about it. It's true. I have a old vinyl.
Yep.
So I'll talk to him again about it.
Okay, but I do see here that it looks like your assessment history did go down some, but that's the assessed value. Actually, I see the total appraised value. Is that the same numbers that you gave me? Looks like it went down 20 some odd thousand.
Yes, it should
Okay.
have, but that's just
Yeah.
for the pool. But that's because it was a mistake. That has nothing to do with the value,
Okay.
you know. Oh, and by the way, 644, he was a pool. So when we're comparing apples with apples here, the
Mhm.
3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1951, and he's paying $1,041,000 on the same side of the street, he's got the same backyard as me, he's got a built-in pool, he raised his house after Sandy, and his house was appraised at $1,041,000. Like, I can't find, like, why.
Okay. And one other question I have is, from the comps here on Roland, were any of these recently sold within the last 12, 16 months? Okay. All right, anything else I should know about?
Only that my house is a depreciating house.
Mhm.
Old, it's older. No, I mean, I can't think of anything.
Okay.
I just think by looking, it's pretty obvious. I picked houses that were bigger, and the houses were like right around mine, on the smaller, but built like the same exact time as mine.
Mhm.
So those are, almost 300,000 lower than mine. And the new ones are, 1 to 2,
Okay.
right? So that's it.
Okay.
We're just trying to be fair.
All right. So, okay. All right. So here are the next steps. Okay.
Mhm.
I will present what you told me to the board.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We'll deliberate about it and come to a decision. It sounds like you've been through this process before.
Tell you what, I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're allowed to go sit and listen, but you never know when they're going to talk about your house. But you can get a recording.
Yep.
They laughed it up last time.
Okay.
And I don't see anything funny about that. It's our money.
Mm-hmm.
We live in this town. We support this town.
Mm-hmm.
I got the recording. She's like, oh. And I'm like, I think this is pretty valid. You can agree, you can disagree.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's anything funny about it. So you might want to say that too.
Okay.
Because I will get the recording and I don't want to hear it much.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been down that road.
Okay. So if we deny the appeal,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to come back next year and appeal again.
Okay.
If we do decide on a reduction,
Uh-huh.
you can't appeal for another 5 years, or until the next revaluation for 5 years. And regardless of the outcome, if you do not agree with it, you do have the opportunity and the right to go to court with it. And that information will be in the decision letter that you receive 7 days after we make our decision.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good. Do you need this from me, like a form thing?
Yes, actually I do. There's a pen there. I thought they would have you sign it in already, but.
No.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Appreciate your time.
Yep.
Should I tell them to send you next person?
Actually, my next person is a phone call, so
Oh,
I'm
great.
good. Even better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care.
call cannot be completed if dialed. Please consult your directory and call.
Try again. Hi, Jeffrey?
Yes.
Yes, this is John Spolier. I am one of the Board of Assessment Appeal members.
Hi.
Hi. I'm just calling to discuss your appeal here.
Great, thank you.
Yep. So just to let you know, I'll be hearing your appeal today. The hearing is also being recorded as well. I just need to go through a few things with you to make sure that we have the correct data. And for the record, your appeal number is 191.
Correct.
Okay. The address in question that you're appealing today is 715 Roland Road.
Correct.
Okay. The owner of the property is Jeffrey Levitt.
Correct.
Okay. The town has assessed your property value, or appraised your property value, I should say, at $1,235,000.
Correct.
Okay, and you're asking that the town reduce your appraised value to $1,154,610.
Correct.
Okay. And I just need to confirm that you are the owner of the property?
I am.
All right. Great. What I need to do now is just swear you in. So do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So you have the petition here, and I guess what I really am looking for is the information you provided. I see here with some land values per square foot, etc. But could you provide me more information that I can bring to the board?
Sure.
So
this appeal really concerns the buildable portion of my lot, which according to the tax card is 9,456 square feet.
Yep.
My property is larger, however, part of it is conservation easement, and I'm not disputing that piece. Specifically, I want to draw your attention to the assessor's determination that they broke the beach area, the Sherman area, into different location adjustments for BP1, BP2, and so on. I've made multiple inquiries to the assessor's office to understand how those determination of location adjustments were made. I do not have a clear understanding of why those determinations were made. All I could gather from looking at different properties is that the closer to the beach you are, your BP1, further away is BP2, and so on. The assessor did reply that these breakdowns were based on sales data during the reevaluation process. However, they have failed to provide any backup data or actual specific sales that would support this breakdown of different areas. I don't understand whether the location adjustments are due to distance from the beach, the Long Island Sound, an entrance to the beach, a number of houses from the beach, or so forth. It really, it's not clear to me where that breakdown was. And then from my perspective, it looks quite arbitrary. If you look at, I submitted some maps today. I don't know if you could take a look at that. If you have one where you could see the different areas are highlighted.
Okay, I might have that. I have a picture here of the GI, or Town of Fairfield GIS. It has the Roland Road, your address there, highlighted in red.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, so if you look at that, you can see where our property is in relation to Long Island Sound. And I picked some comparable properties that have the same or very close sized lots compared to the buildable area of my lot, right?
Okay.
At 9,456 square feet. So if you look, you can see some houses on Carlin Street, Murray Street, Rhoda, Eunice, highlighted in blue.
Yeah.
Do you see those? Yep. And so those houses in blue on those streets there are designated BP2.
Okay.
On the tax card, whereas my house on Roland is designated BP1.
Okay.
Now, I can only assume from the way the assessor is breaking this up is that he's valuing where my location is higher than those locations on those other streets. As you can see from the map, my house is no closer to the beach than those houses, yet no further closer than, as far as an entrance to the beach, those houses are actually closer to the beach for an entrance than my house is. Yet my house is appraised, at a higher rate than those other properties.
Okay.
Do you understand the point that I'm making?
Yeah, so you have the cluster of houses, if I'm looking at this, it's not technically north, but it would be north on the piece of paper. For you there, and they are closer to, or they're just as close to the beach as you are, but they are not assessed as high as your property value.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. They are designated as BP2.
2, yep.
I did submit some of the tax cards for those properties, so just for reference. And again, these properties are just examples. If you went through every tax card for all those different houses in that area, you'd see they're all BP2. Whereas my street is BP1. However, my house is no closer to the beach than those other houses are.
Okay.
And in fact, my Roland Road is a through street, which if you're familiar with the area, you know that. Whereas these other houses are on probably more desirable roads, according to people who would be moving to the beach area. They did not want to have a road with traffic on it. But yet my street and house land was valued higher on a per square foot basis, even with the same size lots. And I did submit a separate letter, where I did include a table with those comparison properties showing the land square footage, the address, and the land value for those houses. So if you look specifically at numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so the first 5 in that list, you can see they're all extremely close in size of the lot compared to my usable area. My property is about $80,000 more in land value than those other properties.
Okay, I'm just making notes here.
So, yep, take your time.
Okay.
So the requested, my opinion of the fair market value is based on land value for that 9,456 square foot of $646,010 for that portion of the lot. $52,000 for the wetlands portion of my lot, which is the same as on the tax card currently, and the dwelling value of $456,600.
Okay.
And that gives a total appraised value of $1,154,610.
Okay. And I do have a question. You mentioned about, I'm just looking here, okay. Condition. Okay, yeah, we do have on the card that you have a wetland at 52,000, and you mentioned that you just called that out in the grid on the last page of your letter, 52,000, no change. So it's the...
Correct, and that was the informal appeal. They did fix that piece because previously that piece portion was not broken out from from the total property.
Okay, so the informal appeal did get the wetland aspect on there, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. All right, anything else I need to know or should know about to take to the...
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about, different land values there, another point, and I didn't really, I didn't know how to attribute value to this, but, a significant portion of my property, although yes, it is conservation easement and wetland, pretty much the rest of my property is also within the wetlands buffer, which significantly impedes the value of the property as well. And on that respect, I did not know how to calculate that, but I think that should be taken into consideration.
Okay.
There's no land adjustment factor taken into account for that currently in my property.
Kind of like a middle ground between what full land, buildable land would be and and the wetlands, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, because it is the buffer zone, which that has significant restrictions on what you can do in the buffer zone.
Okay.
Okay.
So the next steps is I will be taking this information you shared with me to the rest of the Board of Appeals. We'll be deliberating in a majority. We will then, after deliberating about it, we'll come to a decision, and we'll let you know within 7 days after that decision is made via mail what the outcome is. If we deny your appeal, you could come back the following year, so next year, and appeal again. If we do make an adjustment, you're not able to appeal to the Board of Assessments until the next revaluation in 5 years. Okay?
Understood.
And if you... Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, is the deliberation open for listening by the public?
Yes, it is. And it will be recorded as well.
And do you know when the deliberation will be for my property?
No, we don't have a scheduled time yet for that.
Understood.
Okay. And if you disagree with the outcome from the BAA, the decision, you do have the right to proceed to court with it and appeal it in court. And that information about how to appeal in court will be in your decision letter. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time. And you'll hear from us.
Yes. Thank you. And I appreciate your public service here.
Yes, thank you. All right. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too.
Hi there.
Hi, Don.
Lynch down there?
Send them up?
Send them on up, please.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Come on in.
How
How you doing? Have a seat. You
All
can
right.
have a seat over there. How you doing tonight?
Not bad, how about you?
I'm here.
Yeah, well, thank you for doing this, I'm sure it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Late hours.
Yeah. Okay, I'm John Spolier. I will be hearing your appeal. I'm one of the members of the BAA.
Okay.
All right, and I just need to, so you're being recorded here.
Okay.
Okay. So I just need to verify some information here to make sure it's correct. So the appeal number is 221?
Right.
Okay. The property you are appealing is located at 67 Craig Court.
Right.
All right. The owner of the property is William G. and Claire Lynch.
Yes.
The town has your property appraised at $1,212,100.
Yes.
And you are requesting that the town reduce your appraised value to $1,060,000. Correct?
That's what I put on the application, but, you know, I've had time to do more work, so I'm not sure that's the right number, but.
Okay.
But we can get into that, but that is correct as the application reads.
Okay, and I just need to confirm that you're the owner of the house?
Yes.
Okay, great. I need to swear you in real quick. Raise your hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Do you need this form, John?
Yes, if you could sign that and date it. Thank you.
Today's the third, right?
Yep. All right, so tell me about the appeal. And do you have more information that you'll be submitting?
Yeah, there's a couple of new sheets I
Okay.
can give you.
All right, that's fine.
While we're doing that, I'll say that I think I have two themes tonight.
Okay.
One is not in keeping with what I've read about the process, but it is, I think, a factor in that I received two different letters from the towns.
Okay.
I got one in December saying that my assessment actually reduced by $8,000, was reduced. And so obviously I was okay with that, and I didn't take any further action. I got a letter in the end of January saying, no, sorry, correction, it's actually gone up 25% from what we just told you it was going to be.
Okay.
And so, you know, I'm hopeful that because of that error, and because I wasn't afforded the opportunity to do the informal appeal, that the town will give me some consideration for that. It does beg the question, I think, if the model is really that good, how could it be that wrong about one house in the space of a month?
Okay.
So I have those two letters. If you need copies of them, I can give them to you.
If you could, that'd be great. Do you have copies? You said you have copies that we can submit that to the record.
Right.
Okay.
And there's your form.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
And while you're there, I can give you something else.
Okay.
You know, I submitted some Excel spreadsheet work.
Yep.
And I've done even a little more of that to make it easier, I think, trying to cut it down to the top 6 comparisons, because beyond theme 1, which is, hey, I got 2 letters and things about it, I did follow the recommendations and looked at the base period.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with my realtor to pull all of the sales in the beach area between October 1 of 19 and October 1 of 20.
Okay,
so
good.
that led to this big spreadsheet you have in your file, a lot of information. But I don't know that we have to spend a lot of time on that, because I took what I think are the most relevant comps and put it into the sheet I just handed you, which I think is easier to read.
Okay.
And I guess I'd say that I was surprised by the relatively few numbers of homes that sold in the base period near the assessed value or the appraised value that the town says my house is now worth. You know, and then I also wanted to be fair and separate out the few that I saw around that number by those that were FEMA compliant and those that were not.
Okay.
And my house is FEMA compliant. I know that it has a higher value. So I wanted to compare apples to apples where that's concerned.
Okay.
So if you look at this red and blue sheet I just handed you, I'd start with Carlin. Carlin's a little bit different in that I know it's a raised home. So
it's now compliant, it wasn't before, but it is right in my neighborhood. And it sold for 14% higher than I paid for my house. One of the reasons that I chose 1060 as the appraisal is that's what I paid for my house back in 2015. I'm the first owner of the house. And in the absence of having any other comp, we always say in real estate, right, that the house is only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
So until someone else pays more for my house, I don't know what it's really worth more, but I know what I paid for it. So I'm judging this based on, okay, the folks that bought Carlin spent $1,230,000.
Okay.
And their new assessment is $677,000, which is 20% lower than what my proposed new assessment is.
Okay. And that sold in October 20, you said?
That's right. That one, to be fair, I just realized this would be outside the base period by 19 days because it sold on October 19th of 20. So that may be an outlier on that. But, it's, one of the things you're going to see here is our lot size on Craig Court is small. There were 3 or 4 homes just like mine, and it's a little laboratory really for this exercise because it's so similar. We're all under a tenth of an acre. We're all in the high 3,000 square foot acreage, or should I say, square footage size for lots. So it's not hard for me to find comps that have bigger lots. All of them have bigger lots, and Carlin is no exception. The living area is consistent, 3025 to my 3024. But their lot square footage is 10,000 to my 3880. I know that their claim is 1 story, and I'm sure that's true, but since it's a raised house, we probably can imagine that the lower floor has been filled out in some way. But like I said, that's not my best, and it is a little bit clouded in the fact that it was 19 days past the base period.
Okay.
I go to the next one and say, okay, South Pine Creek. It's not in my neighborhood, but it is similar in that it's the other side of the box, if you will. Craig Court off South Benson, we're not Roland, we're not Penfield, we're not Lolly, we're not even Beach. So South Pine Creek to me is on the other side of that area and seems to be an interesting way to think about a house that sold for 1175 against my 1060, and yet has an assessment that is that is $891. So it's higher by 5%, even though they paid 11% more. If you go down to the right, you'll see the same theme of larger lots. This one has 5 bedrooms to my 4. It has 5.5 baths to my 3.5, 12 rooms total, and 4 extra fixtures. I have not figured out what an extra fixture is, but they've got 4 of them. I don't have that.
Okay.
The next one, Nichols, is probably a good one, though. Its location near the police headquarters and up in the Reef area, Upper Reef, may not be that close a comparison, yet it's startling in that they paid the exact same amount as I did 4 years later. So this is a newer home, new construction, whose assessment is 10% lower than mine. When I say mine, I mean the new proposed one. And the living area is a lot larger, 3,800 to my 3,024. The lot size is about double, and the rest of it is pretty consistent, except total rooms are more and fixtures are more. And then we get the last 3 are not FEMA compliant, so I say that with the full understanding that they should be a little bit lower. However, on James Street, I'm not sure that they're in that AE flood zone that I'm in. I tried to look that up and I wasn't able to find it. If their requirement for flood coverage is less, then it's not as bit of a mitigating factor, as much as a mitigating factor in my mind. But anyway, let's look at 270 James, where they paid $1.1 million, and their assessment is 6% lower than mine. It was built in 2012, but it was sold in the base period. And it's got a little less square footage living area, but larger lots, and bedroom and bath situation is pretty close. Okay. Right next to it, 271 James, is even more stark. I can't figure this one out. It must have some extras. I know it's the same builder right next to each other, but for some reason that one sold for $1.50 million, and it has an assessment of $688. With square footage that's higher than mine, lots that's bigger. Yeah, it's got 2 stories because it's not FEMA compliant like mine is. And then the last is Riverside, which was a tear down, new construction back in 2018. It's not FEMA compliant there, but I'm not sure it's required because it's on the creek or the marsh. Anyway, their assessment is 21% lower than mine, even though they paid $1.25 million for it in December of 19. Their living area is a little less, 2782, but their lot size is 5 times, almost 5 times larger than mine.
Okay.
So those are the top 6. I mean, we could get into the weeds on a lot of these, but that's my general argument.
So basically you are asking for no increase in assessment.
As I said, I had no time to do this. I had to get the application in quickly before so I went with what I knew. Having looked at all the data, I don't know what the right number is, but I can tell you that I would be satisfied with something in between where I pay for it, what I pay for it, and what the town is saying it's worth, which would be about 1133. That's the midpoint between the two, and that happens to match a market appraisal I got from my realtor. I didn't include all of those details because, honestly, the realtor didn't do a very good job. He undercut my square footage, and he's the guy who sold me the house, so anyway, he should have known better. He gave me a market assessment of 1133, and he said in the report that my square footage living area was 2650 when it's actually 3024. So I didn't want to put that in because it's not accurate, but I do believe where he would come out if he was sitting here is that, if I sell your house today, it's going to be in the low 11s.
Okay.
All right, so that would be fair to me. And I think consistent with other homes on my street, who I believe, if you look at Craig Court, and that's that second page in the stapled 2-pager, I just looked at my street. And I know that there were some folks that were very unhappy when they got their first letter, and I'm sure they came in for informal appeals. And now I can see from their cards that they got a reduction. And I'm looking to get a similar kind of treatment that they had.
And so you have the new assessment and then the new appraisal. Here. Okay. And then I have this here. These were added, I think, as well, revised on, was it 2.6?
Yes.
Okay. With that, okay, good. So those were already in the file with me.
It's really, so you know, all these spreadsheets, it started with one master file, and I'm just closing it down. So I haven't changed any of the data that's been submitted in the spreadsheet. I'm just trying to bring it more to a summary page for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, I don't know if it means much, but there was this PowerPoint went out today for, those that are interested about how the system was, the validation was done. And I see this sales ratio where it's calling for the sales price divided by the new value to be between 92 and 107%. Does that ring any bells?
No.
Okay.
But what did it say, sales price?
I should have brought you a copy of this. Sales price divided by new value. I take that to mean new appraised value. It says between 92 and 107. I read that as it needs to be between 92 and 107 to be valid. So my sales price is 106, so the new appraised value is 1212. That's 87%.
Okay.
So
that's assuming that your house didn't appreciate over that time.
Yeah, we're just taking what I paid for it and what the town is now saying it's worth. If it's supposed to be no less than 92% apart from each other, then I'm out of that gap. I'm 87%. But there's other things here that I don't even understand, the coefficient of dispersion and other things. It may not help my case. I just got this today, so I throw that out.
And you said you're at 87% now?
Yeah, just
okay.
if I divide the sales price by the new appraised value, it's 87%.
Okay. But again, that would be assuming that your market value is the same as it was 5 years ago, but you did have an appraisal and you said the realtor thought it was somewhere around those lines.
Right. Yeah, I'm just going by this PowerPoint where it said sale price. To me, that means what did I pay for the house?
Gotcha.
That's the number we can't change. So, whatever that's worth.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think I'd point out I was surprised to see as I did comparisons of mine as well as my neighbors. Land value didn't increase at all. Now, we're in an area that is non-compliant for zoning anyway, that's because we were all cottages that were torn down and now we're tower homes, as I like to call them.
Yep.
But everybody's land appraisal stayed the same. This is all house, these increases. And I find that interesting. I don't know if it helps me or hurts me, but I would have thought they would both go up in some relative way to have a cohesive value, because for some of the homes on our street that have not been torn down, the land is worth more than the house. So I'm surprised to see that our land has evidently not increased in value based on not just my own, but my neighbors' new cars.
Okay. Yeah. So you're saying all the increase was in the house?
Yeah, and I would have expected a little of both, and maybe a little more land. While there's not a lot of land, we are near the beach. We're not on the beach.
Yeah. We're
on the parking lot, which is a hazard of its own at times. You know, we deal with a lot. Good and bad. So.
Okay. All right. So the next steps is I will take the information you presented, present it to the rest of the members of the BAA when we have a quorum. We'll deliberate and reach a conclusion. Within 7 days of reaching a decision, you'll be notified via mail. Okay. If we deny your appeal, you will have the ability to reappeal next year. Okay. If we do make an adjustment, you can't appeal to the BAA within 5 years. So basically the next reassessment period.
Okay.
If you disagree with the outcome, you do have the right to go to court. And in that decision letter will be information about the next steps if you do want to pursue that route.
Okay. Very good. And now, is there any truth to the rumor that you're going to meet tomorrow night?
There is going to be a deliberation meeting tomorrow night.
Okay. Will my case be discussed then, or am I to?
I'm gonna say I'm not on the docket to present tomorrow night, so I would say that no.
Good. Well, that's one less thing I have to worry about.
Exactly. So.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your help. Have a good night.
Yep. You too. Feel free to have a seat. Okay. Okay. I'm John Spoliar, and I am one of the board members of the BAA.
Okay.
I'll be hearing your appeal tonight.
Okay.
All right. I just need to go through a few things to make sure I have the right information.
Yes.
Okay. By the way, also just to let you know, we are recording this.
Okay.
Okay. Your appeal number is 510.
Yes.
The property you're appealing is located at 25 Carlin.
Yes.
The owner of the property is Gary and Suzanne Salomon.
Yes.
The town has assessed your property appraised your property at $1,198,700.
Okay.
And you are requesting that the town reduce your appraised value to $900,000.
No, I didn't have a number. Part of my appeal was less of trying to estimate what the value was, it's a comparative analysis.
Okay. So what are you asking?
Well, on a comparative analysis, I guess, and again, I'm not saying it's right, I'm at $1,038,698. But again, I'm not, it's more what my home, when you go through the analysis I prepared, it's, I don't know if you want to speak now or wait.
We can do that. But right now what I've got here is the ask amount is $900,000.
Well, that's only because I didn't put a number on the ladies, just said put something in, I didn't.
All right.
So that's all, I'm not.
Okay. I just need to have you confirm that you're the owner of the property?
Yes.
Okay. If I can ask you to raise your hand to swear you in now, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
I just need, you were given a piece of paper there, Dave?
Oh, yes, that's correct.
I just need you to sign that and date it saying you've been sworn in.
Today is the 3rd, right?
Yep.
Today's the 3rd.
3rd, yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, what would you
do you have the handout that I gave you?
I have a spreadsheet.
Yeah. So what I looked at, we moved in and looked initially at the taxes were a little high based on homes that were in the area comparatively. So anyway, when the new assessments came around, what I tried to do is take a look at homes in the beach area near my home, relatively similar size, same age, and try to compare my appraisal, and at the time it was $1,232,000 before it was reduced slightly. And looking at it, it's interesting because if you look at the land, there's two parts of the appraisal that I saw when I went to the site. There's the land portion, and then there's the improvement portion. And in all instances, on the size of the lot, my land portion was fine, and they all seemed to fit in. So then, the discrepancy seems to be on the improvement side. And so it was listed here. If you look at the improved value of my home, and again, this is pre-change, it was $553,800 or $189 per square foot. And if I looked at all of the other homes that I had looked at, I am, if you look at the average is 123, the median is actually 124, so it's over 50% higher. And the next highest is the 153, 81 Myron, so I'm 23% above that. So you know, and you look at the number of rooms, bathrooms, I know there's variables. I have a pool, maybe that counts a little more. You know, but if I look at, you know, the comparative, the number of rooms, et cetera, I don't understand why we are so much higher. So, you know, I don't know what goes into the appraisal itself, you know, but if I look at the number of rooms, the bathrooms, the age of the home, it just doesn't jive. And, you know, so I purposely looked at homes that were age and, you know, I didn't look at a 5,000 square foot home, I didn't look at a new home. I tried to pull out the homes, and there's just a very large discrepancy. I know some of the homes, some of them have work on them, so, you know, I know the area a bit, so it's just a discrepancy. So does that mean I'm higher? They should be higher, I should be lower? You know, the only way to really do this, I have to get a market appraisal on every one of these homes and say this is what it is. So it's, you know, values are up, values are down. I understand that, but in a relative basis to this group of homes, it's not even that I'm close. If I was in the 160s or 150s, I'd be close. Yeah. It's not even close, all right? And I don't understand why there's such a discrepancy.
Check something here. So you bought the home in 2016?
2016, that's correct.
Okay. And you did mention that you had the pool.
Yeah, we had a pool, that's been in there, and I know that's added to the assessment. I think there's a fireplace extra, and we redid the kitchen when we bought the home. Again, so I'm fine higher or lower, it's just, I'm not even in the ballpark, that's my issue.
Okay, compared to these.
Compared to these, yeah. I'm not, you know, it's just not. So again, I hate being a highest. I'm not here to, this isn't nothing against them. It's just, I don't understand, you know,
I can, okay, so appraisal per square foot. Do you know if any of these have been sold within the last year and a half?
No, I don't think. I think maybe one or two may have been, but I don't recall. Okay. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. Well, that could be because maybe I was the last one sold. But again, that shouldn't have any bearing on the price now. Right? You know, as I said, when I bought the house, my tax would increase a little bit. I understood that, but market value is market value. So it hasn't been sold in 5 years, and if that's the time, we'll last assessment. So, you know, again, I'm not here to argue, John. It's just, it just doesn't, you know, and I just wanted somebody to take a look at it. And they did make some adjustments, but, you know.
So did you talk to Ross or somebody?
No. I initially had a phone, I think it was at the end of January, and then they did adjust it down a bit. I think the initial, my first assessment was 862,820. And they adjusted it down to 839,090, which comes down to the 1,198,000. So yes, it's down, but again, I'm still way out. You know, so I don't, you know, and I'm not going to try to ascertain what the home value is. It's just on a relative basis.
Okay, so let's see about improvements. We have here, nothing since, no improvement since 2016.
Nope.
There's some remodels, it looks like.
Yep. As many of these homes have had as well. So.
Yeah. See if anything jumps out at me that I can maybe okay, so after talking, you said it went down to like...
Well, yeah, I got something back a few weeks ago, you know, with the notice, you know, and that's when I had to appeal.
Yeah. Okay. And so, I mean, basically the main thing is that with the comps that you have here, same size and such, it's really the improvements that you don't,
I'm just
you
too
feel
far
that
out.
you have,
Too
that
far
you've
out.
improved a lot compared to the other ones, your neighbors here.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying that should be the 123, but I can't be at 189 or 180 now, whatever the adjustment is, based on.
198, or, 11.
So it's another 40,000, so probably another, $5 off, so I'm still probably at 180 something, 180. And the interesting thing too is when you look at some of the, you know, when I would look at my home, it's just slightly under 3,000. And when I look at some of the others, like 81, which I know the house is 3,800 square feet, it's, you know, some of the homes, it doesn't make sense. It's a larger home, right down the block, in decent shape, and, you know, it's got more rooms, you know, it just doesn't square.
Okay.
So, you know, anyway, so that's I mean, there's nothing in that, that's all, you know, whether, you know, it is what it is, I just would like to understand why there's such a discrepancy. I don't know why.
All right. Okay, anything else?
No, I appreciate your time, and, so what happens now?
Exactly, that's what I was going to go through. So I will present this to the majority of the board, okay, so that we have a quorum, and we'll deliberate.
Okay.
And we'll come to a decision. If we decide to decline your appeal, you can come back the following year, next year, and reappeal. Okay. If we do make an assessment change, then you won't be able to appeal again until the next revaluation in 5 years.
Yeah, we will. Yeah.
So, and then either way, whichever way we go, you will have the right to challenge in court if you disagree with the outcome, okay? And the other thing is that when we make the decision, you know, on your property, we will inform you within 7 days after that decision's been made.
Okay.
Okay? And you'll get that in the mail. Okay. And in there will be, if you want to, you know, proceed to court, you know, it'll have the instructions there. Okay? And that's really about it.
And what's the timeline, John, in terms of?
So we need to, or our goal, I should say, is to get all 650 hearings heard, deliberated by the end of the month. Okay. So there's that.
So it's going to be a while, a couple of months, probably a month or two.
It would be, I mean, April, first week of April would be the latest you would hear from. Okay. So yeah. Have you talked to the assessor's office at all? Stopped in there?
No, I didn't. You know, again, I did, you know, I was trying to go through the process. Initially, I guess it was that Vision Solutions is who I spoke to. And
municipal valuation.
Maybe that's who it was, I'm sorry, Vision. No, I made the same, you know, so I was told this is how you do it. But I guess maybe I should.
I'm thinking, I don't know if somebody's there right now, tonight, but when you go down the stairs, to the left, you just go down that hallway there, the assessors, they might be able to help answer some of your questions as well.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that if they're there. So just so you get an understanding.
Exactly.
I think some of the stuff, I don't know, again. All right, well, I'll do that, but that still doesn't impact the hearing still.
No, we'll still go through unless you withdraw your.
No, All right, well, thank you.
Okay.
Here, so you need my, this here.
And I guess I'll get that.
Good luck to you.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Okay, bye.
Go ahead.
Well, he's authorized me to represent. He's authorized me to be.
Yes, yeah. Do you have the signed,
I just sent a letter in, hold on.
I don't have anything in here that says that you're representing.
Here's his, here's his.
Oh, yes, nope, I got it. I do have it
It's
here.
here me. Jesus, it could be.
All right. Okay, so, I'm gonna be the one hearing the assessment on Manesh's behalf. And, so, you probably know the drill of this. I'm guessing you've gone through it before. Okay, so, just to confirm, we are talking about appeal number 94.
That's correct, John.
Okay.
John, what's your last name?
Spolyar, Spolyar.
Thank you.
Okay. And we're hearing about 400 Lally?
Yes, we have Boulevard.
Okay.
May I take this off for a
Yeah, go ahead. Yep, you can.
Thank you.
All right. So the owners are Manesh and Ina?
That's correct, Shaw.
James? Okay.
Yes. My name is Attorney Peter Ambrose. I'm here on their behalf.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a copy of the appraisal, but I think you
I do have a copy of that as well.
Obviously, the appraisal has been done by a licensed appraiser.
Mm-hmm.
My review of the appraisal essentially shows that our appraisal shows 6 comparables.
Okay.
And they're set forth in the appraisal as comparables 1 through 6. 5 of those comparables are lower than the town figure of $1,179,200. The one exception to that is comparable number 4 at an adjustment or adjusted at $1,180,000. But of the 5 that are lower than $1,179,200, only comparable 2 is higher than our appraiser's figure of $1,100,000 at an adjusted amount of $1,128,000.
Okay.
The other 4 comparables are lower than our appraisers at $1,110,000. Essentially, can I give you this?
Yeah. Yep. I'll submit it for that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. That helps.
And following that up.
And the comparables are here within the.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. Yep.
Comparables 1 and they're all in
Comparable
there.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Yep.
So the comparables 1, 3, 5, and 6, they're all properties which show a fair market value lower than what our appraisers say.
Okay.
And consequently, our appraiser's figure of $1,110,000, I submit, John, is more representative and accurate than the town's appraisal or figure of $1,179,200. Now, I mean, it amounts, it's not a huge difference. However, I think the difference should weigh in favor of my client because of the fact that there is independent appraisal that's been done of the property, comparing 5 other properties in town that are very close in the beach area to this. And my client is not requesting a huge concession from the town. I think he's being rather fair and rather reasonable and what we're looking for. But I do feel that the town has a value of $1,179,200, and I think a figure of $1,110,000 is on mark. And again, ours is done by a certified appraisal company, and not by a brush stroke. And I'm quite familiar with Vision Appraisal. I don't, they've served the town well over the number of years that they've done appraisals. I've done this for many years. It seems to me that the fact that we have had presented an appraisal done of the property, I think it should take preference over the Vision Appraisal.
Okay. And the comps, were any of them sold within the last year?
Let me see.
I'm trying to find that on the...
You'll see on page, the residential appraisal summary report, let's just see the sales price, looking.
It says here, I do see that says the appraiser has included 6 closed sales, but
I don't, and I apologize.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, we can look it up, but you have basically the overall appeal is based on the
fact that we have an appraisal.
That you have an appraisal that was done on 10/1/2020.
Yeah, and the fact that we're not looking for a huge concession.
Yeah.
So just but I think my client's been very fair and said, you know what, he felt that it was important enough for him to raise the issue and to say that he would like the town to adjust its figure to the figure in the fact the appraiser they actually received from a certified appraiser.
Okay. All right. Peter, anything else you wanna?
No, John, I think it's pretty simple. I think what the appraiser has,
Okay.
You want me to sign this form?
I do need you to sign that. I know you're an attorney, and therefore have already taken the oath under there, so I don't need to swear you in.
Okay. Should I sign it simply?
What's that?
You don't want it simply?
Yes, I do want that anyway. It's just that for the recording purposes and stuff, I just want to let it be known on the record that you are a certified attorney, and that's why I do not have to swear you in.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for taking the time.
Yep.
Good luck with
all 600.
You're gonna submit, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, I give you guys credit. I've been on the RTM forever and ever and ever, and know what the time effort it takes. I see Alexis and Kathy and all you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Peter. Have a good evening.
How long did you go for tonight?
Till about 9.
Till about 9, okay. We're so late, I really need to take.
I know. All right, go ahead and have a seat.
Okay, thank you. Okay, oh, I've never been up here.
Yeah, I haven't either, except for until yesterday.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
We're talking about 5 Penfield.
We are talking about 5
Okay,
Penfield.
so I'm John Spolier. I'm one of the members of the Board of Appeals.
Okay, John?
Okay, I'll be hearing your case tonight.
Okay, I'm Julianne Hudson,
Nice to
the
meet
owner
you.
of 5 Penfield, and it's very nice to meet you.
Okay, so I just need to make sure a few things are correct
Okay,
that I have here. And also, by the way, just to let you know, we are being recorded.
okay,
Your appeal number is 431.
correct.
Okay, we've already established that 5 Penfield Place is the appealing location.
Correct.
The owner of the property is Julianne Hudson.
Correct.
Okay, town has appraised your value at $1,023,600, and you are requesting that the town reduce your appraised value to $810,000. Correct?
The appraised value, that is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
And the asking amount is $810,000.
Right. That
Okay.
is correct. Yep,
And you are the owner of the house?
I am.
Okay. I just need you to raise your right hand to swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right.
Do I sign here?
Yes, you do, indeed.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So,
Okay.
tell me about the
Right.
appeal here.
Okay, well, first let me tell you a little bit about 5 Penfield Place. It's a private street, so we have no town services. We have had to kick in a bundle this year for plowing because we don't get any plowing, so we have to incur that cost. We don't get any mail delivery. It has to be at the end of the street with a common mailbox area, so that includes packages and postal. We have to sweep and do our own sand. We have no store grades in the street, so it floods. So it's, nice to be on a private street, but there are some disadvantages, as you can see, with those examples. I'm on the corner of Fairfield Beach Road, so part of my property, which is indicated at point 10, I really don't have use. It's more like point 6 because a lot of it is sidewalk that I also have to maintain for the town. So I don't have a full use of my point 10, which is, pretty small. So I just wanted that to be known as well.
Okay, so you get point 10.
Point 10 on my deed, but in actuality, I don't really have that much use of the full yard
Because of the sidewalk.
Yeah, it takes about 4 to 5 feet of the front of my yard. So it makes the lot really usable like point 6 instead of point 10.
Okay.
So the reason I'm here today is because I've pulled the other properties on my street.
Okay.
25 Penfield Place in particular, which actually, and I have that documentation for you.
Okay.
They just got a reduction. They had appealed, and they got a reduction in their appraised value and their assessed value.
And that was through municipal services?
That was just when they appealed the yes.
Okay.
They appealed the,
They did the informal
they
appeal.
did the informal appeal, correct, and they got $70,980 off of their assessment.
$780,000?
$70,980 off their assessment, off their assessed value. So I feel I should get that or more, because when I do the comps between my house at 5 Penfield Place and 25 Penfield Place, which I brought with you today, the only difference is my lot is .10 and theirs .7, but as I mentioned, mine is really only .6. Their house was built in 2014, mine was in 2009. I have 1,618 square feet, they have 1,650.
So it's comparable size.
Comparable size,
I'm
definitely.
sorry, just back up here.
Right.
Yours was built in 2009?
Mine was built in 2009, yes, and the comparable property was built in 2014.
Okay.
So this is the best comp because we're out on the same street,
Mm-hmm.
So they're down to $613,760 is their assessment, and my assessment is
$116,520, so it's just
Okay.
ridiculously high. So that's why I'm asking the comparison to be made apples to apples, basically.
Okay.
In addition to the square footage difference, they have the gross area too. They have 3 bedrooms, I have 2. They have 6 rooms, I have 4. You know, I go on and on with the difference. So I feel, if anything, my property that should be valued less. It's an older home. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that they put in 2014. So using that as a direct comparison, I feel that my assessment is too high.
Okay.
And I have those 2 documents for you.
Okay.
Showing their assessment. And
you want to submit those for your file, right?
Yeah, submit those to my file if you don't mind.
Thank you.
So I feel mine should be less than that, because that's what theirs is.
Okay. So it went down, got it. You also have some sales search results here as well?
Yes, that was a search that I did. I'm also in real estate.
Okay.
Isn't everybody, I've had 2 jobs having to survive in this town. So, I pulled a list of the comps for that time. And if you look at the highest price comp on that sheet, and it's much larger than my house, you know, considerably.
This is the Rhoda Avenue?
Yeah. And I mean, but they have mine shown, I mean, that's much higher than my assessed value. I mean, they have much more house, and I feel that mine is too high based upon that.
Okay.
Yeah, because look, that's what they were getting, $880, and look at how large it is. I mean, my goodness gracious. Land area, living area, and so on.
On your card.
Yeah, so my first appeal that I made,
Division or not division?
with the phone call meeting, they knocked $30,000 off.
Okay.
And that was great, but it's not enough, you know, because they knocked off 70 on my neighbor. So how can I only get 30 when my house is older and smaller? So that's really what my contention.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I have 4 rooms, they have 6, I have 1 half bath, 2 bedrooms, they have 3, they have 2 baths, so, you know, it goes on and on. And it's a newer house. I think they even have a generator. I don't have a generator. I don't have all the kind of stuff that they have. Sometimes they say the land is worth more than the house. But in my case, it's not waterfront, so I'm not there.
You're not there yet?
Not there. Oh my gosh, well, I was there during Storm Sandy.
Yes.
That's the only time I was waterfront.
Okay. All right, so down near there.
Is there anything that you, I have this.
No,
if you want
the
to-
only thing, I mean, if you have something else to submit?
I just have, this is from the public records. I don't know if you need it, this.
Doesn't hurt to
Okay.
put it in on the file, so that
Okay.
way you.
Right, and then this you already have. I already sent you that.
I'm gonna scratch
So,
this real quick.
yeah, that's all we have.
Is there anything else you want to share
No, I
that
just,
I can take to the board?
No, I just also wanted to mention a couple of other things on the street, which I neglected to mention. I think I mentioned the lack of storm drains, lack of plowing, lack of sand cleanup, mail delivery I mentioned. Also, we have a problem in the summer with people parking, on the road, because it's so narrow, you can only park on one side. So we get this year we had a lot of problems with New Yorkers parking on the street. So we kind of have to patrol ourselves, and we have to, we've created signs, no parking private streets.
Mm-hmm.
So that was about all.
Okay.
And, they won't come down the street because it's private. I understand that. We're not asking the police to come down, but we kind of have to patrol it ourselves.
I understand
You know what I mean?
that, yeah. Okay.
And I think that's it. Well, we have obstructed water views from the houses across the street, so that's not even, you know, we're limited in our height, they're not, so they can go up higher and we can't see the water. So we don't have water views.
Okay, so you say you're limited by,
The houses on the water.
yeah, but you're limited of how high you can.
Yes, correct, yeah, that's a drawback, because if I wanted to put like a deck on my house, I can't, because we have limited on the height restrictions. And they don't. So they should pay more for that. We do have a limit.
Okay.
I think that's about it, John, I can't think of anything else.
All right, so I can give you what the next steps are.
Okay, I appreciate
So
that.
I will take this, or I will share the information you presented to me
Okay,
to a quorum of the Board of Assessments,
okay,
Appeals. We'll deliberate and come to a decision.
okay,
Okay, after we reach our decision, we will then send you a notification in the mail with our decision within 7 days after coming to that decision.
okay,
Okay, so if we deny your appeal,
okay,
you can come back next year and appeal again.
all right,
You have the right to do that. If we do make an adjustment, you won't be able to appeal to the board for another 5 years. So basically
Okay.
the next revaluation period.
okay,
Okay. Regardless of the outcome, you do have the right to appeal in a court. Okay. In the notification that you'll get with our decision will be information in there as to how to appeal to a court if you disagree with the outcome,
okay.
if you wish to go that route.
Oh, I don't know if you needed this. Did you need this for 25 Penfield Place?
That would be good.
Does it make a
Anything,
difference? Yeah.
anything
This
I
is
can
what-
share with,
yeah. This was the original one that they first had, you know, and then they made the phone appeal and it went to this.
okay.
And that's without them even coming in here. So all I'm asking is this or more, because, you know, we're very comparable.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Okay. All right, so that's it.
Okay, John,
All
good.
right, thank you very much.
Did I make my case clear enough? I mean, is there anything?
I understand where you're coming from.
Okay, I
And I've
appreciate
got the
that.
notes here, and
Okay.
again, I'll share it with the rest of the committee,
Excellent. I
and
appreciate
we'll
that.
make a decision.
Okay, I appreciate that. All right.
And you get to get out of here early.
I know, and thank you for taking me.
Yep, no problem.
This is wonderful. I teach at Ludlow High School, and I have to get up so early. So,
Okay.
it's like, this, I appreciate this, I have to be off my
Hey,
way.
I can understand that. I got 2 high schoolers at Ward, so.
Oh, at Ward, okay, good school, good school.
Yep.
All right, thank you
All
very much.
right, thank you. Have a good
You want
evening.
to leave the door open?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you, John.